timings.
rotation.
I seem to remember one of the first things to come out is a raid wide, so probably wait until after the raid wide to do
The
it.
raid
Warn your
wides
healer.
on TS or
Use it right
Queenguard
off the
doesn't
bat.
look that bad. Yeah.
Use it right off the bat, and then but also tell your healers I have a banner of Noble Ends.
Mhm,
Just
yeah,
if
you
they
should
see that you're not getting healed, then it means it's they can. I have panic heal somebody going, why can't I heal you after a raid
Mhm.
wide? And then it turned out you popped a fucking banner.
Yeah, gotcha.
Mhm. You should
So
let your
it's
healer know.
really let the healers know because
Mhm.
it's
And
very annoying.
remember, if you are dying, you can click off banner.
Yeah.
So you can even macro that just in case that you mistime it and you need to get healed. Remove it to get the heal.
No,
back.
you actually Noble Ends. You can potions go through it.
Oh,
Potions can
do go
heal.
through it?
Potions do go
But-
through it. I can confirm.
Potion,
But the problem
how
is-
much?
Wait, you have more
I-
than enough holster space as a DPS that's not bringing Cure Fort, not bringing anything else, to bring a second font of magic, two fonts of one font
Oh,
of magic
okay.
position, but you also need ether kits.
Yeah.
Basically, you.
I don't know how much space you have.
No,
so,
honestly,
yeah.
I would have almost all ether kits to be honest. Your entire holster is font of magic, banner, a second banner of Noble Ends, and the rest is pure ether kits.
Well,
yeah,
it's
Aether
prog,
Kit-
so also
font
re-raises.
will burn Aether Kits like candies.
Basically,
as someone who's still progging, I also need to slip in some re-raisers.
true.
Yeah,
That's why I'm probably
Yeah.
a few re-raisers of your backup font of magic, your backup banner of Noble Lands, a couple of re-raisers, and the rest of your holster is literally going to be.
Yeah. Option
Wait.
number 1, click it off. Option number 2, put up a shield. Because I think the shields will probably still work.
Wait, I haven't.
Yeah,
I
but-
had another thought.
You have to let your healer know what you
Yeah,
are doing.
How-
to,
This is only going to
Yeah.
work for now until you're comfortable.
Yeah.
But there is something that I forgot to think about. We're Queensguard Prog, which means how likely are we going to get to TA?
If we
And the
are
first-
wiping Queen's Heart, I will kill myself.
We might. It's Queensguard Prog, technically.
Yeah,
And
I will
you
kill
never
myself
know.
if we're wiping Queen's Heart.
Is it sad? My first response is, "Oh shit!" I was
Me-
responding to somebody in DMs. I gotta go back.
Mystery Prog gets to TA. If we wipe in Queen's Heart, I will kill myself.
Mystery Pro also has a lot of people who are actually on TA or have cleared and they're only
but
20.
Right now, finally is
Yeah.
pulling people that are not usually in the runs because they have the Prog, so I have more hopes, I guess.
I mean, a lot of the people here also got to Enrage in Queen's Guard last week, so
I think we'll do it.
yeah.
I believe in gamers.
That's one
I-
reason why I was trying. I kind of was maybe I should check the rosters to see who am I likely to main tank the Queen's Guard. And the
Unless we
answer is
have
probably
Last.
yes.
It should be okay.
Yeah, I went Gunbreaker again.
Oh, you're a Gunbreaker?
Well, Oh, that's
Yeah.
why it's specifically.
Wait, why? You were the
'Cause-
goon.
Okay,
It's
the
more
likelihood-
fun than
Are you-
Warrior.
Are you fighting for the top Gunbreaker place on TS with Mimi now?
I'll be number 2. It's fine. No, because Gunbreaker has been my main, but I haven't been able to play it. And then I played
think
it
it's
last
pretty
week.
good.
To count for your Gunbreaker DPS.
Well, I haven't played Dragoon since Stormblood. I played
you were
Dragoon
playing
again for
Dragoon too.
DRS.
Yeah, I thought that you only played Dragoon, to be honest.
Oh, fuck no. This is the first time I played Dragoon DRS in 2 years.
And you were basically one of the 12 Dragoons on Crystal.
Well, it helps when you've already played for 5 years.
Third round of reserves.
I would imagine if we clear Queen's Guard, we'll make it to TA.
No, if
Yeah.
it's assumed
Well,
you get.
We can wipe on Phantom. We
No,
can.
with Phantom will kill us.
The reasons that a Queen's Guard fails is either one, not enough DPS, one of the two main tanks fucks up.
Those
Actually, that
dudes
is pretty much one of the
feathering
main
each other
reasons.
is 90%.
Yeah,
of
usually
reason.
the wipe is because tanks let
The tanks
die and
fuck it up.
they
That's
they
why I
get there,
specifically was like, probably it's one of those two
Yeah,
likely.
the tanks have to know what they are doing to avoid like the issue with the
When-
tethers. It's very complicated
Whenever
sometimes.
I had to MT either of them, I would always save a gap closer. I wasn't even. I was
What?
scared
Yeah.
to risk it.
Save 2. I never
Yeah.
gap close unless I need to, because I will use when it's basically get to the middle, then to get out for the first phase. I immediately gap close as soon as I resolve my bomb. Gap close to the knight, do what the mechanic, and then I have to run in and gap close to the warrior.
I hate it
People-
when
people
you have
seem to
soldier
forget
and you
that
have
British
to.
exists.
I hate it when you have soldier and you have to wait just a little bit while the frogs are about to go
yeah,
off.
to
And the
resolve,
clones.
yeah. It's scary. Oh,
Somebody-
failed.
Cool.
Yeah, I remember getting very, very low last week because I did actually fuck up my banner and use it in the opener. Ate both raid wides and ended up at about 1k HP.
Alright.
You're actually supposed to use your banner right off the bat.
Well, that was
You pump for the opener.
that was
Right,
the
but like that was
biggest-
Queen's Guard.
Sorry, Furious.
Yeah.
Mute.
Yeah, sorry. That was the biggest string of having to pull reserves I have done in a while. I think patch day is just everybody's
Mhm.
made other plans at this point. So thank you all for the patience there. 10 minutes after is excruciatingly slow for my runs generally.
Okay,
so-
don't worry.
Let's get this ready check going, see how people are doing. Yeah, Queensguard Prog. I know most of you were in the run last week where we just barely didn't make it. Hopefully those of you who had some issues with something looked into it, did your research, know going in like what you needed to improve on. But the normal stuff for Queensguard, healers need to make sure to all have Reflect and to have either Steel Sting or Spellforge. You'll want to double check with your co-healer when you get in, regardless of the healer 1, healer 2 thing. Just double check to make sure you're on the same page and have different actions. Once we get there, I'll talk through some of the mechanics briefly. I won't go super in depth in them unless people need me to. But I'll just clarify stuff and hopefully get a good attempt at it. Our duelist today is Trixon. I don't know if Trix has tried the duel before, but he is a damn good summoner. And so I have lots of faith. If it starts looking like we're going to push for a Queensguard clear and definitely need a surviving duelist, I don't mind taking the reins to make sure we get someone who lives through it. But I trust Trixon on this. Just waiting on Vayne to ready up.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm ready.
Oh, cool. Yeah, the curse of the alt tabbed. Have you tried the duel any, Trixon? Or just been waiting for a chance to give it a go? Just once, okay. Yeah, it's mostly pretty straightforward. There are a few things that can get you. There are a few things that get you even if you're experienced at it. Some patterns just screw you over. Yeah. Yep, Ari, you are on Flare Star duty. Unless, Trixon, do you want to do Flare Star as well, or just be Pump Summoner? Because I know Flare Star on a non-black mage is weird.
The only reason I bring it up is because of the duelist buff.
Yeah. Like, Summoner technically can, it's just so not optimal. So yeah, Ari, you get to be our Flare Star still. Congratulations, do big damage. As far as the early coordination, we're just all going to stay in the same voice call for Slime's Golems. Oh yeah, Zinnia, was this your first time being pulled as melee Zinnia? Basically, you'll take Rend Armor. I don't know how many you need for a full raid, but honestly just have like two or three. And then you basically use it you either use it first or second. If you use it first, you use it at the start of the fight right away. If you use it second, you wait for the first one to fall off. It's 30 seconds in, and then you use yours. And then basically you just go back and forth using them on cooldown. For fights with extended downtime, like Queen's Guard, it can help for the two to like coordinate. Okay, I'll get it every time the Queen comes back, or not Queen's Guard, Queen proper. For Queen's Guard, it's generally I think each person just rends a different target and then just does it on cooldown over and over. So it'll be partly doing it on cooldown, partly watching to see when the other person's falls off. It's just a dot to track, and it appears at the very start of the dot bar.
Okay, this is just, so A parties north, B party is south 2, C is in the hallways. Just gonna...
Are we popping peers immediately?
I would say so. I always do. If people do want to wait to Trinity Seeker, I don't mind, as long as your wait doesn't become an issue. But it will make slimes go much cleaner, just from red slimes not being a factor.
Also, I am specifically requesting south tank because I am Soul Perceptor, which means I'm going to do north first and then head south. It's just far easier for me that way.
On Golem's side...
I can percept my own room, Denna.
No, it's... well...
I brought it as backup.
No, I can do all 4. I'm both north. I'm the Soul Perceptor, which just means it's not an issue on slime side especially, because slimes, you shouldn't enter the rooms unless you're... you know...
For golems, I need a tank on all 4 of these golems, plus a tank at the back of the hallway. Selkit will be at the front of the hallway. So a tank on all 4 of these golems, and then a healer from their party with them, except the bottom right one, where Alu is standing. The tank who goes there, Alu will just interrupt for you. So Vane's gonna walk the dog, Alu will interrupt that. We don't need a healer there.
I got you.
Sawaru and Saphira.
Can either Rourke or Carsey or Kush, can you go north? We only need 2 DPS north, 2 DPS south. I meant 2 of 3. Who's left? Sorry. You're here. Okay, so Carsey is down south. Nan, you're with me. Alex up north. Risa, you're up north. Okay. There is a trap southwest on slime side. Putting in yell chat so you can see. You basically, your job is to tank north. That's basically it.
Yeah, when we go in, make sure you wait in the middle. Let the Perceptor get the trap first.
I pop sprint because I personally think that if you're a Perceptor, you should pop sprint the moment you get in the door.
Quick question:
What's up?
The golem that Siri I am in, is that the white golem or the blue golem?
That is the white. So you'll take that to the southeast room.
Got it.
And then Vane will go to the northwest room. Otherwise, they yeah, those are the 2 that swap.
Thanks. Just double checking. Thank you very much.
Just confirming, Rain, you're doing...
Yeah, I can do calls.
I'm just making sure that I'm not talking over you.
I just want to say good luck, gamers.
Thanks, Kazuna.
Go to bed.
So, anyone on slime side? I think we had a couple new people to slime side. I think it was Mina?
There was 1 DPS.
Mina and A.
1 hallway tank.
Yeah, Mina, so being on the A marker means you're going to be in charge of pulling the red slimes out of the northwest room into the hallway. So it's completely mirrored. You know, both sides of the room is exactly the same. It'll essentially be looking for slimes that fall in these rooms, drag them out into the hallway, like right here. But on the northwest side. Basically, you see red slime, drag it in the hallway, make sure that slime is away from other slimes, and you kill it. DPS is not that difficult on slime side. Yes, I would recommend not AoEing.
Yeah, AoE can be kind of cursed here. It's just best for everybody to hold off on it.
And yes, if you are able to, and you see a red slime casting fusion, definitely interrupt it. Better to play it safe. We're going to be doing tanks pulling groups of 3. I'll be calling that out. Healers can finish off for tanks. And yeah, DPS will pull red slimes into the hallway. Anyone have any questions? It's still Queen's Guard, so totally fine if you don't know everything.
The neighbors are sleeping.
No questions. I guess we can ready check.
Oh.
All right, let's do ready checks on Golem side as well. I believe E had a deputy. No, E had the volunteer. It was Afsara volunteer to take E.
A, B.
I think D lost their. Yeah, can anybody in D take over for doing ready checks? The lead was gone. So D party.
We're doing a ready check now.
Slimes is ready.
Yeah, we had some people who just like had to drop. All right, Slimes is ready. Golems is ready. I'm starting our countdown. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna record today. I've got enough good Queen's Guard and Trinity Seeker stuff.
Last second. Tank stance check. All tanks, please turn your stance on. There's a trap southwest. I'm going to go in the northwest before going on a circle.
Yeah, tank stance check, food check on Golem side. Both south traps, or both south rooms have traps.
Rain's getting door. I don't need to touch it.
I'm getting door?
Oh, guess. Okay.
We all get door. This is our door.
Yeah.
So northwest tank, grab your slimes.
Yeah, hallway golem has not, or hallway trap has not been found yet.
North trap found.
Then
Hallway
I
trap's been
take
found.
my slimes.
All traps found.
All traps found. All traps found golems. Blue golem healers, be ready to Asuna.
Southeast tank, you're up for slimes.
Oh, Selkit, you were north.
And southwest tank, you're up.
All golems are the correct color.
Healers, you can start pulling slimes for your tanks. Feed them enough until they get a +4 slime.
And burn down white golem.
DPS down top of reds. Healers, once your tank has a +4 slime, you may pull a final one. Wait off in the side of the room with them.
Golem side work on ruin golems. We are 3 out of 4.
Southwest, northwest. Northeast, southeast. Looks like we are all 4 in holding. Tanks, pull your final slime, commit. They don't want to fuse, wriggle them around a bit.
Golem side, go ahead and work on the red golem.
Do not leave your room until they are rupturing. If a tank can pick up that big green slime in the hallway. All are rupture. Everyone head out north. Watch out for traps. Pick up any reds that spawn on the way out.
Get red golem to the button, burn it down.
Healers, you can rescue anyone, preferably DPS and other healers.
Red's
There's
dead.
a golem to the south of the hallway still.
Way to the edge of the bridge, and DPS anything that comes at us.
Clean. No death golems.
I don't think we had any death slimes.
Awesome.
We're good.
I managed to proc my TPN.
I saw that. You took like no damage, didn't you?
Because I TPN'd that impact, because I figured I was going to get hit by the rupture.
So yeah, Trinity Seeker, nothing new for y'all at this point. Main thing I want to comment on, I do true north calls for Fourfold Mercy. I usually do left-right, but I will adjust that to a north-south if that's just a better movement. So we had someone who wanted to practice tanking this, so Bob wants to practice tanking Trinity Seeker. Can we get an off-tank to the front? Sue, thank you.
Gotta get the frogs together.
Oh, you're Frog Squad. Let's go. All right.
Frog Squad, let's go.
All right. Were there any BRBs? I didn't see anything, so I'm going to assume no. If you did not use a peer before, now's the time to swap. Tank stance check, only Bub should have it on. Zinnia is asking, I think wasting time was the other render. Wasting, do you have a preference on first or second rend? Because Zinnia doesn't mind, it's their first time rending. Wasting 1 second? Okay. So Zinnia can go first, Wasting can go second. That works. I think we're all good to go. Make sure you've got your actions set up right, your peers, etc. Food check, re-raiser check, and starting countdown.
I stand the Frog Squad.
This fight starts out with a raid wide. So, I called that a little early, but you can pre-shield your parties when ready. I try to wait for it to be about 15 seconds left on the countdown for that. Make sure they don't fall off before the raid wide. Alright, so raid wide is going to be first.
Oh no.
Oops.
Follow by first fourfold. So it's going to be right, south, south, north, north. Do south, south, north, north. So south twice, then north twice. Then north twice. Orb is at 1. Dodge ice and then look away from 1. Look away. Dodge ice again, get away from the bloom. Gonna have a raid wide next. Raid wide is out. Don't know if we're gonna skip. Okay, get under the boss. Under the boss. We did end up skipping there. Just barely. After this, off tank, go share. Sharing is caring here on the late nights. Now everyone away from main tank. Sharing is no longer caring here on the late nights.
Can't keep getting away with it.
You can almost hear the shit-eating grin.
Oh no, there's no almost about it.
Oh yeah, no, it's totally there. Next, they're going to be chains to break. Wait for them to be fully established. Once this marker goes away, break chains and hide behind. Break chains and hide behind a barricade. Next up, we're going to have Ifrit dashes followed by Baleful Blade. It's going to be with knockback. Start at D, Delta. We're going to get knocked into the barrier at 1. Knocked into 1. Next is going to be a raid wide. Followed by everyone stack behind for Verdant Path. Clone line AoEs are going to be next. So we'll be followed by first Iron Splitter. Don't stand in the orange. Be on sand. Be on sand. We'll follow the boss next time he jumps. It'll be Brick with Earthshaker shortly after. Follow the boss, Brick. Watch for Earthshakers. Don't cleave the party. Next will be Sand with Earthshakers. Sand, don't cleave the party. Clone AoEs, followed by a raid wide. Raid wide out. The party can get to enter cards around the boss. Bub, you want to stay until the next cast bar. Now everyone to enter cards. Do not greed. Enter cards around the boss. We're going to have Ifrit dashes followed by Fourfold Mercy. Started Delta, D. And it's going to be right. We're going to do north, north, south, south. North, north, south, south. North twice, then south twice. North twice. And south twice. Orb is at 1. Dodge ice, then look away from 1. Look away. Dodge ice again, get away from the bloom. Chains to break, followed by a raid wide. Raid wide out. Gonna have a basic tank buster next. And next is going to be the Iron Splitter Fourfold Mercy combo. We'll start on the first safe Iron Splitter rings, do Fourfold Mercy like normal, and end on the next safe rings. So, right. Right, right, left, left. Right, right, left, left. Start on brick. Start on brick. Right, right, left, left. Stay right. And then left twice, end on sand. And on sand on the left. Another one at random. Be on sand. Season's coming up. Orb is at 4. Dodge ice, look away from 4. Look away. Don't be baited by the clone AoEs, you have time to dodge. Gonna have a raid wide next. Next to be getting under the boss of Verdant Path. Under the boss. It's going to be Baleful Blade followed by Fourfold Mercy from the clone. To be with knockback. So get knocked towards the south, and then it'll be left. Left, right. So knockback first, then left, right, right, left. Knockback, then left, right, right, left. Left, right, right, left. Right twice. Then left. Chains to break followed by a raid wide. Healers, if you have someone down, you want to LB3 after these chains are broken.
What?
Raid wide out. If you have someone down in your party, go ahead and LB3 them up. It's going to be Iron Splitter followed by Baleful Blade, but we should be able to kill the boss in time. No, probably not. Be on sand, and then hide behind. Sand, and then behind a barricade. Get behind. Go, go, go. LB, if you need to get people up now. Yeah, that's partly my bad. I should have just played it safe. We were so close. There is one death at the south of the room. Wait for traps to be found.
Trixon is our duelist. Not sure if he'll need protect or shell. Yeah, Trixon could use protect.
I got that.
I did not know it was possible to get behind the barricade from a center ring in time.
Mm-hmm. It is, but you have to hustle.
I
That's
popped
part of
sprint.
that's part of the issue. Yeah, like I popped sprint too. You can do it without, but like you got to be so on the ball there. That's why I just usually call for people to be ready for it. And yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah, usually sprint is very useful on a lot of mechanics.
And then Trixon, as soon as you go through that portal, is where the first trap is. As soon as you jump down, the next one, there's no other before the arena. There's just the one as soon as you jump down, and then there is one right before the button at the end of the arena. Which there's a famous GIF at this point of what's his face of Oza just running straight into it.
Yeah, the Oza.
Imperial, there is a question on chat 3. I don't know the answer, so...
Yeah, Dervish on cooldown. I think it's just on cooldown because Dervish and Cure 4, like, Cure 4 you can just keep it up always, so that's less of a thing. But it really is, with Dervish, more important to have it for everybody else's burst. Because it's not self-serving, it is for everybody else. The thing is, with enough downtime in fights, they do like line up better anyway. Like with Trinity Seeker, for instance. First Ifrit dashes and I think first Ifrit dashes you have time before that. Second Ifrit dashes, I think it does conflict. So like you want to make sure not to use it during periods of downtime or extended movements away from the boss. But yeah, that's a good question. I don't know exactly. So we do have one BRB. We'll wait for them to get back. Then yeah.
Excuse me.
I think we're pretty much good that Trixon you can pull whatever. And we'll just do a Eorzea time countdown when we are ready. Feel free to deafen, etc.
That's speed.
He might already be deafened, honestly. Yeah.
He did.
Also, can any ranged or anyone answer the question I posted in the Discord?
Basically, Dervish should just be used on cooldown, pretty much.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as soon as you speed up, unless there's, like, a big amount of downtime, I guess.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to make sure.
Because if you're, like, basically running away from the boss and no one's near you, don't use it, but otherwise, just use it, frankly, on cooldown.
Okay.
It's just the damage up.
Yeah, at that point, it's like lining up with your technical step to like boost it. Well, the first time you use it, it'll still catch the end of the technical step, I believe, because Dervish lasts for 60 seconds and it's a 90-second cooldown. The second time they will be fully disaligned, I believe. Yeah, and that would be a full minute of holding it, and that's just not worth it. You just wait for them to get back. Okay. So Ayumu is back. For pull time, we're gonna go with 6:25 Eorzea time. So 6 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and pull. It's Dahu. There's no reason to hold up. First up is going to be the ground AoEs. And then it's going to be charging twice. God, I never get to call Dahu anymore. Charging once more. The next cast bar will be Spit Flame. Be watching for it. There will be some line AoEs along the way, though. And check your numbers, Spit Flame. Gonna be a left-right shockwave next. North-south shockwave, let's go. and then you'll get knocked towards an empty spot. Not towards a safe spot. Alright, we have Blamey, Whamey, Spin, and Flamey. Zinnia, did you just cancel that on your first time as melee? Because I don't think I've seen you as melee in here before. If so, nice. Ad phase is next.
It shouldn't be neat.
Yeah, neat. Alright, we'll wait for all 6 to be established before off-tank provokes. There's 4. And we'll be burning these down. There's 6. Off-tank provoke. And burn down the ads. Yeah, Bub, your job here is to not die. They get stacking damage up buffs. It's pretty terrible. Alright, Bub can provoke back. It's going to be line AoEs and ground AoEs. There's going to be a left-right shortly after, so mind where you're placing these. Spit Flame is going to be next. Watch for numbers. Numbers out. After this, Flares will get knocked south, the rest of the party knocked north. Flares south, the rest north. And we have 5 more rotating cones. Fire Breathe, Blamey, Whamey, Spin, and Flamey. 5 of these. Nice! That is a successful duel for those of you who haven't seen it before.
You mean support wiped?
Fuck yeah!
No, Trixon's, by the rankings, he's one of the best summoners we got on Crystal, for this, so that's good to see. I lost where I am in this. Left, right, followed by charging once or twice.
Stop elaborate.
So it's gonna charge once or twice. Start thinking about conserving resources.
Oh, I wasn't looking.
Twice. Neat. He said the thing again.
Cool.
I have so many just little like vocal tics that people have picked up on at this point. So it's gonna be another ad phase where we can just burn the boss. Focus on building gauge resources, whatever first though. Then ground AoEs, boss should die before long. Nice. Baked, what did you do? Baked, what did you do?
Did he die?
He did. How? How did he die?
Wait,
What
that means healers don't go.
happened?
Healers don't leave.
Yeah.
He's up.
Okay.
What? I have no idea there. Okay. Also, Bub, I know you had just said you wanted to tank Trinity Seeker. If you want to like pass it off to someone else for Queen's Guard, that is totally cool. Completely up to you. So Bub was one of the people who joined Mystery Prog and basically got to Trinity Avowed instantly. And then kept signing up for my runs, being like, okay, yes, I am technically Trinity Avowed, but please give me more practice. So I've been putting them on my runs more. Despite technically being TA, because like Mystery Prog doesn't really count for like full practice if you really want to work on it.
I went on Mystery Pro. My second run got hard carried to TA. I had no idea what the hell I was doing for Queen's Guard in TA.
Yeah, so it's like Mystery Prog's great, but you do have people that are like, ignore my prog roll, please give me practice. So Quill, do you want to tank Night Soldier?
Yeah, this is Prague, so like I'm more comfortable like doing like the orbs or the turrets.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. Sounds good. So Quill will do a Night Soldier. Denna, do you want the other two?
Alright, popping Dispel.
My man. Alright, can I get a West turret tank and an East turret tank? Sue will be East turret tank, Rain will be West. I assume Rain's jumping around there for that reason. And then I just need volunteers. North 1, North 2, that'll be from A, B, and C parties. and then South 1, South 2 from D, E, and F parties. So we got North 1, North 2, we got South 2. I need a South 1. That is any tank from D, E, and... Oh, Bob's got it. Awesome. That is all our tanks sorted out.
Quick question.
Healers, what's up?
Those orbs, do they have a name for the tank buster from the orbs? The spears?
I don't know the name. Like,
it might be called Spite Check because it starts casting Spite Check, and I panicked when it actually went off, so I just popped Living Dead early once.
I don't think.
If you basically just inbound once you see the red marker above your head, that's usually a safe sign to inbound.
Yeah, there's no cast bar for it. There's a cast bar for Spite Check, but we're not fully sure what that is, except maybe another tank buster.
Paladin, aren't you? Paladins have you have a much comfier window for inbound anyway, because Paladin's duration.
Well, Siri's not didn't volunteer for one of them. So.
Yeah, but I mean just for future reference.
Okay, so I'm going to talk through some of the Queensguard stuff we have to watch out for. I'm not going to do full explanations unless if people have questions, I can always go back over stuff. So early on, we have the yellow or purple tether. For that, we will click off either Steel Sting or Spellforge. I'll call it out, and I'll call out who we need to reapply it to. All parties should have Steel Sting and Spellforge in that party. If there's a party missing one of them, let us know. We can adjust for that at the start, but we can't adjust halfway through if it needs to change over. So once you can check Steel and Spell, please do so and let us know if a party is missing one. For the first set of bombs, we're either resolving bombs on the outside edge of the arena, or we're getting knocked back from the orb in the center. You want to get knocked back at a 90-degree angle or less from where the Knight's charging from, but the Knight's charge does have a hitbox as well, so don't be directly in line with it. Dispelling Warrior, Dennis got that part. The second set of tethers, if you get a tether, you'll go to the green Wind AoE. If not, you go to the purple Gravity AoE. Just make sure to not be where they overlap. Make sure to be solidly in the one you want to get hit by. For the nails that the Knight does in the center, we'll get under the Knight and then either get out towards the safe side or stay in towards the safe side. Those nails are the same as from E6 if you did that. They're just little nails that appear around the boss, kind of glowy. One quadrant will be safe. So you just go towards the quadrant with nothing on it. It's not too bad at all. Second set of stuff, we'll swap to Reflect halfway through once I call for it. For the frogs, I will call out where the safe spot is. Since you are on the Knight Soldier, you'll want to wait. I'll call it real early for that. Just wait until the soldier definitely stops moving before moving to it. If you move as soon as I call it, it's too early and he'll move. That's actually gotten us killed before I call it too damn quick. Once you enter that safe spot, you turn the gap on your character, the little ring around you, turn that gap towards the gunner in the center, then turn it towards turrets you're aligned with. The turrets do overlap, so make sure you're solidly in line with one of them. If you're not good at seeing where the gap is around you, you do get a little debuff that'll have the little 4 quadrants on a circle, and one of them will be blue. That's the side with the gap. So that's the side you turn towards the gunner and then towards the turret. Let's see. Sniper tanks, they'll just pick those up and we'll burn them down. For the fire ice, it's the same fire and ice debuffs from Castrum. If you get the fire, do nothing, stand still, just wait for pyretic to fall off. If you get ice, you have to stay moving till the cast and the animation is over. Jumping clones, it'll be similar to in normal mode, just they'll jump twice. We'll go to either of the 2 safe ones. We'll turn gap towards the gunner in the center, then gap towards the turrets. Easy peasy. And the final phase. The final phase has, if you scroll up to where the Queensguard Reflect image was linked, there's an A through C up north, a D through F down south. Those are spheres we need to kill. The other ones, the A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, those are for the healers to reflect in. That's why we have all healers bring reflect and swap to it halfway through. You will go to that assigned spot. Don't be animation locked by anything. If you're going to LB, you want to do that while the while the fight before is still going on at the tail end of that. Don't wait until the transition to LB because you could get animation locked too far. You want to solidly make sure you are in whatever AoE is going to be yours. Make sure you're targeting yourself and have reflect on you. When I did this, I just as soon as they jump away, to just start casting reflect on myself and keep it up. Reapply it at 2 to 3 seconds, get where I need to go, make sure there's no chance of it being on me. I didn't even juggle doing damage on the coat of arms or the ethereal wards around me. I just like stood where I needed to go and kept applying shell or reflect, whatever it's called. So make sure you are you know whether you're healer 1 or healer 2 for your party, as well as what your party letter is. Always good to double check to see where you need to go there. Then yeah, you'll reflect that. There'll be 2 sets of that, so you'll reflect those. They'll spawn again later, and you do it again. Healers, be watching around you. If someone doesn't reflect theirs on their first explosion, you do have time to reflect their spot. Just make sure to get into it and, yeah, be watching for it. We can adjust if a couple don't get picked up. Does anyone have any questions? Oh yeah, the tanks, right? The tanks will make sure to get aggro on the orb north or south if they were one of the people who with the assigned job. North 1, North 2, South 1, South 2. And you just make sure to have aggro on your orb and then invuln it after it dies. Yeah. Anyone have any questions?
Who were supposed to be taking the first and second set of orbs on the north and south?
Yeah, so north was...
Denna
Denna has 1, Risa has 2. South, Bub has 1, Baked has 2.
And then who's taking the turrets then?
The turrets were, we have Rain on the west turret and Sue on the east turret.
Got it.
Yep, we got everything assigned. We're good on that. So, Zinnia is asking about when to rend. I believe you read, we have 1 person rend at the start when they're all together. That, I believe, is the, if you are on first rend, yeah, you'll just rend when they're all together at the start. And then once it's up, you'll, I don't know which one Wasting will be rending. Just rend the other one, essentially. Pretty much you just split up the rends and you just, don't rend a boss that already has rend on it, and that's about it. Doesn't really matter beyond that. Let's do ready checks real quick. Make sure we are all good to go. Yeah, I liked that so many of the people here were from the run last week. And like, yes, the run last week was listed as prog. It's not like we can really be mad that it, like, mad it didn't clear. But, like, we were pretty close. It's always frustrating when that happens. And, like, if we'd spent, like, 40 minutes trying to, like, get around lag and see if it was doable or not, like, that might have been time for another poll, either for the duelist to, like, have everything finally click for them, or for, like, me to take over on the duel and do it. So, it's just always frustrating when that happens, regardless of, whether you're expecting to clear or not. So, seeing so many of y'all back to, hopefully knock this out of the park is definitely good to see. So F is waiting on 1. So A, B, C.
I know it was said in Yell Chat, but just making sure people know, like, if you're a healer or a tank that dies and you are not ready to take your orb, or, you know, reflect, etc., please tell people.
Yeah, going into the final phase, if you are down and you had a roll, put it in Yell Chat. Miyafuji's mic's not acting up for me.
It's just he's staying lit up for me.
Interesting. Are you ready, Alu? You were the last one.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. I figured you were trying to fix that. So that is all parties reporting ready. Food check, actions check, tank stance check. I'm going to start our countdown.
Okay, it's gone now.
So start applying Steel Sting and Spellforge to your parties.
Remember, some classes need both.
Well, give them their whatever they need for their primary damage type. We can reapply midway through if needed. So apply Steel to casters, apply Spell to all physical damage dealers. You can't actually have both buffs on you. Alright?
Yeah.
So we start out by burning these down best we can. First set of raid wides. And we're going to have a second set of raid wides. Don't think we're going to skip them. Oh, we skipped one of them. Let's go. It's always good to see. Alright, split up your DPS on these. We'll be tanking Knight in the center, Soldier off to the east. Or, Knight center, Warrior off to the east.
Click off Steel Sting, apply Spell Forge. Click off Steel, apply Spell. Red mages will need Spell Forge. That's it.
Please.
Alright, Sword Omen. We'll be resolving our bonds on the outside. Check for a tether. If you have a tether, you'll go to small. If not, you'll go to large. Tethers to small, rest to large, on the outside edge of the arena. In F party, our dancer needs,
Please?
Our dancer needs Spellforge still. Alright, if you had a tether, you'll have to adjust. Dispelling Warrior is next. And Raid Wides. Got a bit of downtime before the next set of tethers. Check for a tether. If you have a tether, you'll be going to green. If not, you'll be going to purple. Tethers to green, rest to purple. Make sure you're not where they overlap. Then sword. We're going to get under the knight. Under, and then move out towards the safe side. Move out towards A. Out towards A. Dispelling Warrior is next. Dispel Warrior. Raid Wides, followed by Tank Busters. Tank Busters out, and then all of that's going to loop. Click off Spell Forge, apply Steel Sting. Click off Spell, apply Steel. Paladins, Dark Knights, Bards, and Ninjas will need Steel Sting applied. Paladins, Dark Knights, Bards, and Ninjas.
Group F,
Dark
Steel
Knights.
Sting is down.
Okay. Shield Omen will be getting knocked back 90-degree angle or less from where the orb's charging from. The knight's charging from. Check for a tether. If you have a tether, you'll go to large. If not, you'll go to small. Tethers get knocked to large, rest get knocked to small. 90-degree angle or less from where the knight's charging from. Hold DPS on Warrior. Hold DPS on Warrior. We're going to need to burn Knight when he gets back. Adjusted to an explosion if you gotta. Focus Knight. Focus Knight. It's like 10% behind. Dispelling Warrior is next. And Raid Wides. Make sure to use a Re-Razor if you died. And just burn him down. Healers swap to Reflect. Healers swap out for Reflect. You no longer need Steel Sting and Spellforge. Alright, the frogs will be first. I will call where we go. We'll be going south. We're going south to C. Gap towards the gunner in the middle. Gap towards the gunner. Then gap towards turrets you're aligned with. Tank Busters are going to be next, followed by Raid Wides.
How much time is left?
Raid Wides out. Turret tanks, tank stance on. Once these turrets spawns, once these turrets spawn, we'll pick them up and burn them down.
And burn him down. It's going to be a raid wide shortly. Raid wide's out. Next is going to be fire or ice. East turret's still a little behind. Awesome. Fire or ice is next. Fire. Stand still. Sheath your weapon. Take no actions. Do not move. Do not auto-attack. Do nothing. Back at it. Alright, the jumping clones are going to be next. They will jump twice. Currently 2 and 4 are safe. 2 and 4, 2 and 4. B and C. 1 and 3. 1 and 3 are safe. Turn your gap towards the gunner in the center. Then gap towards turrets you're aligned with. Gonna have raid wides next, followed by tank busters. Raid wide's out. Healers, now's a good time to LB3 to get people up. Tank busters out. These aren't living much longer, and you're not going to have time once you get animation locked. Healers should all have reflect. ABC North, DEF South, healers be at your spot. Make sure you're applying reflect to yourself. Don't have someone else targeted. Everyone else, you'll want to respect Coat of Arms casts. Healers, make sure to be watching to see if a spot around you needs reflected.
Wow.
Alright, one got missed. Or not. Nicely done. Coat of Arms, respect it, do not greed. Do not greed.
I want to. Look,
Second set of spheres spawning soon. Watch for them. Spheres are out. Reflect them. Aura spheres to burn down. Coat of Arms, respect it. Burn, burn, burn. Coat of Arms, respect it, do not greed. Do not greed. Healers, be watching for a chance to LB. Healers, LB if you have anyone down. Congratulations, we just cleared Queensguard.
Yeah.
I was watching around. One of the healers south, like, couldn't find theirs quickly enough. And so I was watching, like, in a panic and ended up getting reflected. Because I was like, oh no, I wasn't sure if I had to call out for him. Yep. I saw you. You found it eventually, but, like, yeah. I wasn't sure if it was too late or not.
Remember, there are 2 chests to pick up here.
Alright, I need my second. I actually don't need it, really. I have enough augments that I never need to do this content again to get augmented law stuff, but it keeps track of how many times I've done this shit, if nothing else.
Kind of like all the Turmoil Orchestrian scrolls I have for VA.
I have 70 BA clears. I know that because I've got all my Turmoil Orchestrian scrolls still.
You got to future-proof it against all the new gear types that they're going to add in the future.
Mm-hmm. So, everyone, welcome to Phantom. Phantom is almost entirely just a caller check. I'm trying to think if there's anything... Oh, yeah, the ad phase. That's new. So, for the ad phase, there are red ads that need burned down. There are white ads that need healed up to full. Healers, don't waste all of your healing on the first wave of them. There are 3 waves. If every White Mage Benediction's on the first wave, it can be real spicy to heal all of them up. So just space your burst healing out and it should be good. Everything else is just variations on the normal mode stuff. There's like following the donut down to the end. There's a lot of like waiting for 3 pulses in a line next to you to move over to it. I will call all of that out, don't you worry. I have only wiped a group to Phantom once. So... I didn't see. Oh no, Trixon didn't have Flare Star.
No, I was looking at the logs. The the rankings and I saw that the top,
somebody else did.
Yeah, that the top summoner on Queen's Guard hit 100k. It was my Flare Star.
Flare Star Summoner, that's cursed, but like whatever. As for Dervish and Pump and whatever, you only want to use Pump here if you can afford to without losing charges going forward. The thing is, we're going to be on Trinity Avowed next. We are most likely we most likely have no chance of clearing Trinity Avowed with a group inexperienced to it.
Thanks.
It is a fight that calls cannot help people through. There's a lot of having to see it, having to die to it, having to understand it, whatever way works for you, and get through it. So Trinity Avowed takes a lot of practice pulls, and it's the stopping point for Prog. So pretty much, if you've got charges left on your stuff and it's not enough to take it back into Trinity Seeker, feel free to burn it here. Like, might as well. I'm doing it. We did have a BRB in my party. I'm going to wait for them to get back, and then we can pull.
Check.
Who wants to tank for this? We have a couple tanks marked. So.
Oh god damn it! I've never done it, but I can do it.
Yeah, might as well get practice on it, right? All right. So Dana will be tanking. All other tank stance off. I am starting our countdown. And yeah, we basically have at least another pull going through here. Hopefully get to TA and get more practice on that. I don't know if we have time for a third. We might have time for 3 if we move quickly. And if all of those get to TA and get y'all practice on that early, essentially, earlier than you expected, that'll be such a huge boon for any TA runs you want to go on. So this fight starts out with a raid wide. I didn't call you out to pre-shield it because it doesn't matter.
Just mean to drag more north?
No, you're good. I think it's technically, like, if you drag it north, you get to the safe spot faster, but it really doesn't matter as long as you adjust. Go to Delta D. See, like, that's plenty close enough. Like, it's not perfect, but ain't no thing. You'll have to follow this along every step. They follow the dots on the ground. Once we get down to the bottom, we'll wait 3 pulses in the line next to us before moving over. There's 1, 2, move to 3. Then we're going to move between 3 and 4. Get south again, we're moving between 3 and 4.
Okay.
Start at 3. After 3 pulses in the line and with the 4, we'll move over there. Wait for it. So we got 1, 2, move over. Then after 3 pulses, we move back. There's 1, 2, move back to 3. Boss is going to jump center for the ad phase. Like I said before, don't blow your entire healing load at once. There are 3 phases of this. We used to think that standing in the middle killed you. Then we thought that standing in the middle just curses a run. Then we thought that standing in the middle blesses a run. Nobody knows.
What? I definitely thought I was gonna say.
Pork, I swear to God.
What's the Misty Wraith?
Those need healed up.
Healer.
Okay.
Clemency?
So this is the last wave of this. Yeah, Clemency does work, actually.
So does Aurora.
Paladins confirmed overpowered, but Gunbreakers too, I guess.
So what if you brought a banner of some clarity here and
Interrupt Phantom, thank you. So now we just have
dot.
we just have a loop of mechanics here. First is going to be a weave where we get pushed north or south. We are going to have to do a decent amount of this. Like, we're going to see the Dispel.
I still have to sell it for that reason.
Plus. Getting knocked north. We're going to be either at C or 3 or 4 to start. 3 or 4 to start.
start at 3. We follow this all the way down, then we'll move to the wall at 1. Follow this all the way down. Nice rescue. Then move towards 1. Move towards 1. Boss is going to jump center. It's going to do a conal AoE. Get away from it. Go away from where you were. Save cooldowns and resources. You're going to want to stop attacking once Ice Spikes comes out. Stop attacking. Stop attacking. Wait for Dispel. Auto attacks hurt too. Wait for Dispel. Alright, we're good. There is a death at the south side of the room. Tank Buster. It is not an AoE, I believe. We did try it, but I don't know if we feel like being brave with it. Yeah, and then Raid Wide. There are traps going forward again. We
I don't
continue
have
to have
Dispel or
traps.
Percept anymore, so the other Perceptor's gonna have to take care of it.
Yeah, I'll show Selkin. I'll show you where
Still
where
have
they are.
Percept up, though.
Yeah.
You know what?
So, yeah. So there are, I believe, 2 in this room.
1 in the room and 1 in the hallway.
Okay. I always expect there to be 2 here, but there's only ever 1 that matters anyway. There's 1 in the little door here. Awesome. And then there are more in the next area.
It's like 4 total, I think. It's usually 1 in the little cubby hole and 3 in the room, but it could be 4 in the room.
No, it's 1 in the alcove and 3 in the room. Yeah.
I've seen none in the alcove, and then all 4 of them are inside the room.
Yeah. Do not auto run into this trap. This is door prog. Do not auto run into the trap. Do not take these mini traps. See, people auto ran into a trap.
There's one on the far side of the room.
Thankfully, that was the mini trap, the one that doesn't kill us. We just need a mini trap if we kill TA. So, like, we still have 1, thankfully. We aren't going to kill TA on this run anyway.
We will.
Explosion trap. It would not have been.
Yeah, if that was an explosion trap, we would have had probably, like, what, 5? Like, how many people got minied? Like, we would have had that many deaths. So, please be wary of that one. We call it door prog for a reason. It is its own boss. And, the best part about this is I get to explain Trinity Avowed. Let me get a nice drink.
Check.
See, Sue, you thought I wouldn't be pulling you on runs anymore.
I thought.
So, please either keep moving or use /HUD layout. Let me put /HUD layout in the. So either stay moving or use HUD layout. Because this might take longer than the 10 minutes. Trinity Avowed is a little bit different in that there's not a set order. There's a set way it starts, and then there are 3 random phases it can choose from. It'll do one of those, a different one, and then the last one, and then it'll do those 3 again in the same order, but all of them a little modified. I'll go through what starts at the beginning, and then I'll go through each of the phases. So at the start is a shared tank buster. We have all tanks go to the front after pull to mitigate that tank buster. Next is a raid wide. The raid wide hits very, very hard and has a heavy bleed. For this fight, we want all main tanks to have Aether Shield on. That's why it's in the loadout. All main tanks should have Aether Shield, and you will use it on every single raid wide. If off tanks, if you see your main tank die, you can swap over to Aether Shield. If you have one, you should. You should swap over to Aether Shield and just get every raid wide. But all raid wides do need Aether Shielded, otherwise your party will most likely die. It can be healed through without, but it chunks like a motherfucker. After that raid wide, there are 3 weapon swaps. They'll either be getting out, getting to the front, or getting behind. I will call out what we do for each one. You can tell them a little earlier than the weapon swapping themselves. But it'll do 3 of them in a row, and whichever one it ends on is the first hot-cold, it's the first hot-cold phase. So, hot-cold phases. I'm going to walk through those one at a time. First off, we'll go with staff. The first thing that happens is the hot-cold debuff applies. This is the same as in normal mode. You'll get that little bar above your head with either 2 ice, 1 fire, or 2 fire. The way I like to think about it, I think of ice as negative numbers and fire as positive numbers, and you're trying to get back to 0. That just makes the math easier for me. Whatever you have to do to work it out, because you do eventually have to do actual math with it. At the start, though, you get a hot cold, then you get a forced march debuff. If you've never had a forced march before, there are not everybody's seen fights with them before. You'll get a little arrow debuff that's either pointing left, right, forward, or backwards. And when that debuff hits 0, it will force you to walk in that direction about 2 tiles. We use that to get pointed towards and walk into the orbs that resolve our debuff for this mechanic. But yeah, it depends on where your character is facing. What I like to do is see where the arrow is and then figure out where do I have to be facing character in order for my arrow to point me where I want it to go. And you never want to greed the GCDs on forced marches, especially if you're new to them. Go ahead, take 2, 3 GCDs off to make sure you're aligned properly, turned properly, whatever. Otherwise, if you get greedy and like you align properly but then hit the boss again, you'll turn right back to face it, get marched off in the middle of nowhere and die. So please respect forced marches. Take as much time as you need. This is learning for this. I know a lot of you weren't prepared on Trinity Avowed, and it's a fight that takes a lot of preparation. So take as much time as you need to resolve it. Anyway, with staff, we get hot, cold, we get forced march to apply. Orbs will spawn in the 4 corners, so we get center to mitigate, and then you get marched to whatever orb resolves your debuff. You get marched to that. Once that resolves, you can get back with the group. There's a raid-wide we mitigate, and then it's another weapon swap. So for sword, starting out, sword is pretty much the same on both phases, and it's the one that people take the longest to understand, generally. You'll get a hot, cold debuff, the boss would disappear, and 4 clones will spawn around that 1, 2, 3, 4 section of markers. You can see up towards the northwest of the arena, there's a little 4 square area with a 1, 2, 3, and a 4. One of those will get hit by no clones, because they'll appear around there and point their swords in different directions, and one of those will be cleaved by nothing. I'll call that out as the safe square. Every square, 1 cardinal square away from that, either 1 north, 1 south, 1 east, or 1 west, will get hit by exactly 1 clone. So what you do, I call the safe square, you find the safe square, you get there, you see which clone you need hit by, and you sidestep 1 cardinal square, not an intercardinal, 1 cardinal square off of that safe square, making sure you're getting hit by just the clone you need hit by. If you ever are on a square diagonal from that main square, you get dead immediately. It needs to share a full solid line with that safe square. I like to resolve it the way I just said. I find the safe square, turn to find the clone I need hit by, sidestep to make sure I'm hit by it. Other people will do a method where they see what they need hit by, just pay attention to that, and then reorient to where they're right next to the safe square, still being hit by that. That one can be a little more risky, though. It can end up with people off in the middle of nowhere. But really, it's whatever method works best for you. If you find something else that no one's ever written about, whatever, as long as it works.
Do they always cleave to, like, how can you tell which side they're going to cleave?
The side they cleave, so they turn facing either alongside those 4 squares or into or out of those 4 squares, and then they'll do a sword either to the left or right of it. So it's...
I mean, the clones basically look like the sword face TA from normal
mode. And it's just figuring out, like, where it's facing and where the sword is going. So if you look at... Let's imagine these 2 squares here. Like, let's say this is a 1, the 1 square, and this is the 2 square. There'll be a clone spawned right over here, where I'm standing. I'm going to mark myself to make this a little easier. So there'll be a clone standing right over here, and it'll either be facing alongside, so it could be facing north-south, alongside those set of squares, or it can be facing east-west into. Whichever side it's facing, you'll have to then see where the sword is going. So if it's facing into, I believe the only pattern it could have is cleaving left there. I guess it depends on where the safe square is. But, like, you'll have to see if I'm facing into and my left side is glowing, then these 2 squares down here would be hit. If I'm facing into and my right side is glowing, then it'd be these 2 squares right here being hit. If it's facing alongside it, it's either... If it's facing alongside, it's never cleaving in, because that would make there no safe squares. So if it's facing alongside, you want to go on the side outside of it, 1 square away from the middle arena set of squares. It's hard to explain without seeing it, and that's part of what kills people on this fight, is just you have to see some of the stuff to get it.
The
Sounds kind of like Doggo Shadow.
Kind of, very, very similar, yes.
The usual way to let people resolve it is you stand in the center and then be like, hey, that one's got a shiny sword over there. Walk to the then walk
Yeah.
over there and be like, I'm not in an intercard.
Yeah, as long as you're a cardinal from the safe square and being hit by the clone you want to be hit by, that's always good. So anyway, there are 2 sword cleaves per set. So there'll be 1 safe square, they'll cleave once, a different safe square, they'll cleave again. If you resolve yours on the first one, you can just go to the safe square next time. If you can't figure yours out the first time, just go to the safe square, let it resolve, and then hopefully figure it out faster the next time around. After those, though, the boss will reappear, and there's a raid wide, and that's sword phase. Bow phase. Bow phase starts out with a forced march being applied, and then a shared tank buster. A wall of flames will appear either at beta or delta, and we get marched away from that. So you see where the wall is, you point your forced march away from that, and you get marched to the other side. Then it is the pipe game, much like in normal, but the difference here is there are more bends to the pipes, and there are no guiding lines to show you where they go. There are 4 different arrows, and you need to follow them along yourself. All the arrows take every bend in the pipe. A lot of people trace it with their mouse. Other people, there's a cheat sheet they use. So Tomoe linked a cheat sheet a little bit up, where you can see there's like the 1 through 5 up at the top, and then where everything ends up with either a normal or inverted pattern. I will call out if it's normal or inverted pattern for people using that, but like I just trace it along with my mouse every time. Whatever works for you, again, you just figure out where you need to go and go there. After that, there is a raid wide, and then that's the end of the first bow phase. So, that is 3 phases down. Now we got the same 3, but a little modified. The main modifier here, you get a debuff called Elemental Brand. Elemental Brand will either be an Ice 2, Ice 1, Fire 1, or Fire 2, and it adds to or subtracts from your existing Hot Cold. So, if I have a, let's say, Ice 1, and I get a Fire 2 Elemental Brand, my new total is Fire 1. I add them together, and that's the total I resolve mechanics with. If I have, you can have some where you have a 3 or a 4 for sword phase, and so if I have like Ice 1 and Ice 2, my total is now Ice 3. And then I would need to get hit once, and then get hit again in the second set of cleaves to zero it out. For bow phase, they can cancel out to 0. I could have Ice 2 and then Fire 2, in which case the empty spot also follows like every bend as if it was an arrow. That's the main modifier. In staff phase, we get Hot Cold, Elemental Brand applies, orbs will spawn, and then clones will spawn to the north and to the east. We get to the orb we need hit by, and then adjust to the 1 square of those that is not being hit by any of the clones. Understandable. Someone said that in my party said they have ADHD and their brain stopped processing. Yep, that is Trinity Avowed. It is a rough boss. So yeah, the clones always spawn north and east. You just figure out the square not being hit and stand there. Swords the second time through, it's the same. The only difference is you might need to get hit more than once, in which case you get hit once on the first set of cleaves, once on the second set of cleaves. For bow, that's the most different one. You walk towards the side not being hit by the flame wall, but you have to dodge clones first. So dodge clones, then march to the side not being hit by the flame wall. And then when you're there, you get your hot cold. You get a so you get a hot cold, you get a elemental brand, and then you get a forced march. So while on that single safe column, you have to figure out where you need to go, and then get to where your forced march puts you there, moving you 2 squares. It is rough. You have very little time to do it. That is where you just take all your GCVs off if you need to. You follow your element along, you figure out where you need to go, figure out where you need to be to put your forced march there, and then go there and point it. I would ask if people have any questions, but the answer is yes. There is not too much that can be done about that. Like Pork is saying, we're gonna just have to see this and die to it for anything to click. So, let's do ready checks. Also, I will call out every step of the way what is happening, and it's just up to players to be able to execute it. Everyone has different variables due to your hot cold and your elemental brand. So, you don't have to worry about keeping track, oh, what did I need to do with this? I will tell you what you need to do, and you just have to be able to execute it on the fly. Yeah. What was the question?
I had a question. On the first bow phase of Hot and Cold, you mentioned something about a forced march, but was that just a forced march towards this safe column?
Towards the safe wall, yeah.
Okay, and it's 2 squares, right?
Yep. Pretty much if you're center and pointed where you need to go, you have plenty of time to adjust. It's just if you're pointed off in a weird direction, then you just can't make it.
Roger.
So,
All tanks will need protect. Please stand off to the right if you are a tank and need protect. Off to the right in the arena. If you need shell, please stand off to the left in the arena. Everybody needs shell. So if your shell doesn't have enough time, stand off to the left in the arena. If you're a tank who needs protect, stand off to the right.
My shell only has 29 minutes left. Do you think I'm good?
You're good. If we go longer than 29 minutes, then everyone here is a fucking god. In this instance, like me saying like dedicated TA like prog and clear parties that don't clear TA, just because the DPS check is so tricky, and everything has to be executed by each person individually at the end of the day. So, okay, Denna, do you want to tank or do you want someone else to do it?
If
I know
nobody
you
else
can.
wants
It's
to,
just
I
whether you
can.
want to. Does
Nobody
anyone
else
want to tank this boss?
I'll do it.
You are a dancer.
But I'm pretty.
Quill, do you want to give it a shot? All right. Yeah, let's go.
Oh hell yes.
Quill, do it. All right. Does anybody have protect to hit the tanks? They are off to the right in the arena. Thank you, Dasani. Please use whatever food you need to use. The extra vitality is very helpful. Then all main tanks again need Aether Shield. All main tanks for your party needs Aether Shield. This is where main tank, off tank really starts to matter. You will Aether Shield every single raid wide. I will try to call out Aether Shield mitigate. If I just say raid wide, you still mitigate it. All parties have reported ready. Don't worry about pump actions. Like, I have 0 charges on my actions and I'm not using new. This is a practice run just to get the feel of it. I don't know the cooldown, but it's enough to be
60
fine.
seconds.
Okay.
Is it worth using Addle on the raid wides?
I think so.
Do we not want to risk
if your tank
hitting
has
the
used it, hold up. I am canceling. We're just giving it a little bit for dot cap's really only something to worry about when you have like a lot of summoners, a lot of bards.
We have 4 summoners.
Yeah, we got 4 summoners and a couple bards, but like, if your group has good enough DPS, dot cap doesn't matter. And Addle can, with practice runs, help. Like this isn't a DPS focused run. This is a survive run.
I would Addle it personally.
Yeah. Hey, Sibri, what's up?
What's up? I'm really tired. I'm just hanging out.
Right.
Because healer dots are going to be falling off all the time, so I don't think you'll hit buff cap.
So I'm starting countdown now. Please make sure you got your action set up if you're main tank. Everybody else, take a deep breath. This is a rough fight, but you kind of just got to see it and die to it to figure out how things go. It starts with a tank buster followed by a raid wide. You can pre-shield your parties. The tank buster is a shared tank buster, so after pull, we will have all tanks go to the front. TA's aggro range is enormous too, so don't get too close. Alright, let's go. Tanks to the front. And tank buster out. This is followed by the raid wide. Aether Shield, mitigate. Mitigate. Watch how much this chunks even with Aether Shield. It's gonna be 3 weapon swaps next. Alright, stay here at the back. Here at 3. Here towards the south. The boss flipped. Towards the south. Alright, please check your tank stance. Alright, get out next. Melee out by the pulse of light. Melee out. Next to be getting behind. I'm not sure if the boss will reorient. Yep, stay here to the south. To the south. Then tanks to the front. There's going to be another tank buster. Check your forced march direction. We'll be getting marched towards either beta or delta. You can just watch one, and if the firewall is not there, you can adjust. Get marched towards either beta or delta. I'll call it out. March towards beta. Do not greed the GCD. Towards beta. Not terrible, honestly. Check your hot cold. Make sure you use an re-raiser if you died. You'll have to follow the element along. Inverted pattern. They take every bend in the pipe. Inverted pattern.
Jesus.
Do not greed here. Once your party's together, you can mitigate. There's another raid wide. Aether Shield mitigate. Then Quill point back towards the center of the arena. Get here towards the center with the group. Be with the 1 marker. The 1 marker in the arena. Jumping up and down. Or the player marker, rather. Sorry. Boss is going to go untargetable shortly. Mind your cooldowns. Check your hot cold. That tells you what clone you need hit by. Clones are spawning. I will tell you the safe square. 1 is safe. 1 is safe. You want to be either, you want to be 1 cardinal square away from 1. If you're on the 3 square, you're going to die. This is another round of these if you didn't resolve it yet. 4 is safe. 4 is safe. If you resolved, you can go there. If you're on the 2 square, you're going to die.
Oh, it's like fucking... What's
It's going to be a raid wide next. Aether Shield mitigate once your party's together. Aether Shield mitigate. Raid wide out. Next will be getting out. Melee can wait for the pulse of light.
Yeah, dog.
Melee out. Check your hot cold. Check your forced march direction. Get center, mitigate, regens to keep people topped up. We're going to get marched to whatever orb resolves our debuff. Do not grade the GCD here. March to the orb that resolves. Do not grade. Do not grade. Once your party's grouped up, you can mitigate. There's a raid wide. Aether Shield mitigate. Make sure to use a re-raiser if you died. All of that's going to loop. Just slightly different. So boss will reorient to the center. You can get south already. Get south.
How south? Oh.
We're going to have to dodge the clone AoEs first. They spawn north and east, so you can watch those to see where to go. After we dodge those, we get towards either beta or delta. Dodge clones first, and then towards beta. Dodge clones first, and then towards beta. Get towards beta. You can make it from the far side, even if you don't use sprint. Sprint does help, though.
What the hell?
Check your hot cold. Add or subtract your elemental brand. This is your new total. If you need to get hit by nothing, you'll follow the empty spot along. It takes every bend in the pipe. Check your forced march direction. You'll have to figure out where you have to go, and then get where you need to go so your forced march puts you there. Normal pattern.
Alright, I'm just gonna do math here.
Alright. Do not greed here. Get to where your forced march puts you on the square you need to be on. If this kills you, do not feel bad.
Ah, I was wrong!
Alright. You can mitigate once your party's together. Aether Shield mitigate. Re-raisers if you died.
I don't know why I died!
Aether Shield mitigate.
I don't have any more razors.
Sword is gonna be next. Or, no, Tank Buster first, rather. After this, point back towards the center of the arena. Alright, stay here with the group. Please, if you need to res someone, don't use the numbered markers. Try to use the shapes. We do use the numbered markers to mark players. Boss is going to go untargetable shortly.
So mad.
Stop Stop using LB at this point. Check your hot, cold. Add or subtract your elemental brand. This is your new total. If it's a total of 3 or 4, you'll need to get hit more than once. Do it on the 2 separate hits. Do not be on inner cards. Clone spawning. 1 is safe. 1 is safe. If you're on the 3 square, you're going to die. Be on a cardinal square from 1. Four is safe. 4 is safe. If your debuff's resolved, go there. If you're on the 2 square, you're going to die. There's going to be a raid wide next. Once your party's together, you can mitigate. Aether Shield mitigate. You can use LBs again. Next to be getting out, though. Melee's out by the pulse of light.
Have a bleed too. Oh my god.
Melee's out.
Just gonna...
Poor Nyan Nyan. Died so others could live. Check your hot, cold debuff. Make sure to use re-raises if you died. Add or subtract your elemental brand. This is your new total. Get center, mitigate, regents, keep people topped up. This time we're going to walk to the orb that resolves their debuffs, and then check north and east to make sure we're not getting hit by a clone. If you're confident on the positioning, you can jump up and down. Inner squares are safe. The inner corners are safe. It's going to be a raid wide next. Once your party's together, you can mitigate. Aether Shield mitigate. Well, I regret to inform you that no matter how good of gamers we are not getting through a 33% deficit in this Enrage cast. So this is, unfortunately, a Trinity Avowed wipe. Don't worry, you'll see plenty of Trinity Avowed wipes in your way through Deluber Regine Savage. But the fact that we saw Enrage is so great. Like 32, maybe 31% Enrage, like, that is good to see for a lot of newcomers. You saw what I meant about everyone needs to resolve their thing themselves. Calls can tell you what to do, but you have to be able to execute depending on your variables. As far as there was some talking about if you get rezzed on certain phases, if you can live. If you get rezzed for bow phase or for sword phase, and you don't have a hot cold, you can just get hit by nothing. For swords, you can just be on the safe square each time. For bow, you can just follow the empty spot along. If you get rezzed in the middle of orb phase, you just die. Because anything you get hit by will increase your hot cold, and since you didn't have one, now you have one that's wrong, and you die to it. That's about it. You got about an hour and a half left. Let's take a short break.
Can I ask a quick question when you finish?
Yeah, let's get back at the 45-minute mark at 2:45 a.m. Eastern. So that's like 11:45 p.m. Pacific. So at the 45-minute mark, we'll get back at this. We can take a break, stretch your legs, we'll look stuff up till then. What's up, Siri?
Maybe I keep missing it, but in that phase when you have to go to the spot where the path is going to resolve your hot cold, whatever, I don't see any paths being highlighted at all.
No paths are highlighted in Savage.
You gotta do it manually.
That's why they link it in the group chat, where I personally don't trust myself to monitor.
You do it manually, or you use the cheat sheet.
Yeah,
when I look at the cheat sheet, how do I know what my path is gonna be?
So the two different ways to do it. One, with that cheat sheet. So let's say it's the normal pattern there, and the orb you need hit by, or the arrow you need hit by, is the northwest one, the one marked with a 1. Or the far left one, I guess. That will end up at the spot below, marked with a 1. That cheat sheet is somebody just doing all of the different patterns there, and writing down what they correspond to.
Got it.
A lot of people keep that on a second monitor, some people have it printed out, or they fucking sketched it and taped it to their monitor, keep it on your phone, whatever. What I do, and what a lot of players do, is they follow the same rules every time, each arrow takes every single bend in the pipe. So if you start with your mouse just tracing it, and as soon as you hit a bend, whether that bend's going left or right, you just move to the next pipe over then. And then you just keep going down, follow it all the way down. That one also works. And that's like whichever of those two patterns works best for your brain resolving it, go ahead and use it. There's no real wrong answer if it gets the mechanic resolved. But yeah, there is no highlighted line to tell you where to go. It is just figure it out. It
that
sucks.
makes much more sense. So,
Yeah.
Last question on that: why are 5 and 3 green? Is there any reason for that?
I think it's just to make it easier to see.
Those are the square colors on the arena.
Square colors of the arena.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. That makes
Somebody-
sense. I didn't get the numbers.
Somebody did make a version that has color coded like ones, like all the numbers are color coded to the spots they end up on, just to make it a little easier, like to see at a glance. I think the one that gets passed around a lot, one of the numbers is wrong. But yeah, the first couple times I did that, like the first time I died to it, there was a time where I had like I've died to that knowing full well what I'm doing. I've died like the first couple times I did it. The boss was like covering one of the bends, and I didn't account for it because when watching a stream, it's easy because like the person has a good viewpoint probably. But when doing it yourself, you have to like take your viewpoint into consideration. And if one of those is like covered up by the boss, and you miss it, then all of a sudden nothing's ending up where it should. I had a time on one of the late nights where I went to myself, that's an interesting pattern. I've never seen that one before. And got killed by it because of course that wasn't the right pattern. Like I had done it enough, I should have known. But I was just like, that one's new. And then it's like, you idiot, you've done this dozens of times. You shouldn't be seeing any new patterns at this point. It's rough. A lot of Trinity Avowed is rough and still gets vets if they're not like on the ball.
Does the the elements, do they always stay in the same area? Do they?
Nope. They can be on different spots, and yeah, that's why the cheat sheet has numbers rather than like the elements pre-assigned for it. And all of that goes for the orbs on staff phase. Those are never in the same spot, or rather, they can be at any different spots. And the witch cleavage witch for
that's like very RNG heavy in terms of mechanics, and it's really about figuring out the mechanics, like understanding how it works, and then adjusting to what you have to do to fix it. Because, like, especially with part 2, with the addition of brands on top of the hard code, like not many people are gonna like you're only gonna have to be like a handful of people that have the exact same combination that you have, and so it's not like you can just like follow somebody and resolve your mechanics by following somebody, because they're not gonna have the same pattern that you have in terms of the debuff.
There are a lot of people who clear and still don't know how to do the mechanics, who still have some that they just cannot figure out, but have gotten carried through it essentially to a clear. You can get through with deaths. It's not a everyone has to live, everyone has to get it right kind of fight. But if half the raid is dying to every mechanic, suddenly, no DPS checks can be made. On TA prog runs, I like to make sure that there's like either an experienced tank or experienced healer or both in every party, because as some of you probably saw, if both your healers die, suddenly, your party has no healing, you probably die. If your main tank dies and they had Aether Shield, suddenly your healers are like one tick away from death after that raid wide goes out. And having an experienced tank to either Aether Shield or to sacrifice a dead healer, and having experienced healers that, like, as long as one of them lives, they at least make sure their party can get LB'd if needed. Like, that can be the difference between getting good practice and not. A lot of people will die due to like their healers being dead, and like stay dead on the floor the whole time and not even get good practice because of it.
I saw slow drop on one of the mechanics, and I just immediately instinct pop the Aether Shield without even looking to see if they're gonna proc.
Mm-hmm. And that's like, as a off tank here, if your main tank goes down, like, be prepared to be the Aether Shielder now. Yeah, it's fun.
Hey, and I've got a quick question about that whole brand thing there. Because one of those fucked me up pretty good. I had, Ice 1 from regular Hot and Cold, and then I had the Fire 2 Elemental brand.
Mhm.
So that would automatically make me Fire 1. Am I understanding that right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, because I completely misunderstood that, and I got slapped in the wrong area. So
there are different ways to interpret the fire ice thing. Like I know some people, like I know Fire explained it earlier too. You could think of ice as like negative and fire as positive. So if you have like ice 1, which is -1, and then you have fire 2, which is +2, you'll be on a +1, which is fire 1.
Mm-hmm.
There is another way to think of it, which is rather than trying to figure out what you are, try to figure out what you need to be. So, like, you had the Fire 2 brand, which means you need to end the mechanic at Ice 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with brand, since brand resolves at brand's the last thing that resolves, you can look at your brand and say, okay, I need to end up where this brand puts me to 0. And like if my brand is Ice 1, okay, I need to end up at Fire 1 after the hot cold bullshit. Oh, I'm at Ice 1 for that. That means I need to get hit by Fire 2 to get to Fire 1 for my brand to resolve me to 0. Etc.
Yeah,
etc.
like I know Tomoe mentioned this in Sage Chat earlier, but I don't know if anybody missed it. But do not rely on your temperature gauge in the middle of your screen. That thing only reflects your hot cold debuff. It does not reflect your brand. So you can use it for like part 1, but it doesn't work on part 2 because you still have to take into account your brand. And it just feels like it's extra work to like look at that and then have to work it with the brand to be like, okay, I have to be on this on my temperature gauge to so that my brand balances out, and that's just a lot of extra work. So it's just best to not get into the habit of relying on the temperature gauge.
I still rely on the temperature gauge. For me, it's up to every person, because for me, I look at the temperature gauge and go, so that's what I need. Then I look at where my debuff is and go, okay, so that's the adjustment.
Yeah, I guess if you know how to, like, if you can wire your brain to like account for it, then it's fine. But for a lot of people, I guess it's just like they get over reliant on the temperature gauge and they forget that they still have a brand to take into account.
Yeah, and what Bub said, that's what I did for a long time. I hovered over the debuff manually because I didn't trust myself to just tell it on a glance.
I still do that. I still hover over the debuff.
One thing I do want to very much mention, though, this was a Queensguard prog run. Getting TA attempt, like, you should always be a little prepared for the boss after, just so when you get there, it doesn't feel like wasted prog. But at the same time, TA especially, but like a lot of bosses just in general in here, you kind of need to see it and die to it for it to make sense. Like all of my explanations there, no matter how in-depth I explain stuff out, if I draw diagrams, if I take a video, it doesn't matter. If like you might need to see it and die to it yourself for something to click. And that's totally fine. Sometimes you have to see it and die to it, even for a guide or a video to make sense. And then next time, like, with this being a TA prog run, even if we were to stop here, which we're not, but even if we were, you still now have so much more experience to go and learn for next time. To where when you join a TA prog, you can get, like, actual, like, you can read up on it, you can study up on it in a way that, like, you have a reference now. You've seen To Enrage. So, like, that is always the hope. Like, if you can see To Enrage, even if it's not a chance of a clear, that makes it to where when you go back to learn next time, suddenly all that learning is so much better.
I wonder if I'm the only person here who has found TA to be the easiest fight so far.
Absolutely not. I had a much easier time with TA than I did with Queensguard.
Queensguard is my easiest one, which is why I early on do it every time.
And yet, Sue, when I called you out as someone I trusted as clear ready for TA, you still fucking, like, got embarrassed over it.
Look, I haven't been on that many runs. Like, compared to some of the other people who's been progging TA for, like, months, I was barely on TA for, like, 2-3 weeks at that point.
Yeah, but it clicked well. And everyone does find different... Like, there are people who have cleared this numerous times, who say, Trinity Seeker is the hardest boss here. It's just, not about Seeker. It's just the DPS check isn't bad. For me, I say
difficulty.
Queen. Yeah. Sorry. I say Queen is the hardest boss here, not because it is, because I'm calling it. Queen is by far the hardest boss to call, but one of the easier ones to execute. Like,
we get people to Queen completely blind to it and call them through it just fine because I can call it real well. But it's not easy. It's just
Queen is actually a caller check. Like the experience on Queen between having a confident and good caller and having somebody who's kind of like winging it with the calls, like the experience is completely different.
I think a big part of it is that there's no way for a single player to murder the entire run
Unless
on that particular fight.
Really?
You get more
There
personal
actually is.
responsibility.
I have this. Oops, sorry.
No, technically the two main tanks in Queensguard. Yeah, the tanks. If one of them messes up, which for some reason I'm fine with, tanking it. And it's if one of those two tanks messes up and no other tank picks up in time, it is a wipe, which puts a lot of pressure on those two tanks.
okay. Real quick, I
Tanks
do have
never
several
mess
people that didn't ready up. Alex didn't ready,
I'm
Alu
here,
didn't
I'm
ready, and Setsuna didn't ready.
I'm here. Sorry.
But yeah, I think honestly what it is that just like I am very bad at like the fast reflex type mechanics. So fourfold mercy is just like the worst thing in all of DR for me.
And that's like I feel like DRS has such a like wide variety of mechanics, and seeing 48 people going through it, it's such a different feel from like a party finder or a static kind of thing. Because we are still like in comms working together, but it's not a static. It's like 48 people, and it really highlights like how different people learn differently, how different people process things differently. Like I had a hell of a time with TA of like calling the safe spot. Like now I can do it almost immediately, and it scares people. I can call faster than Cactbot, by the way. But like for the longest time, I struggled because my visual processing, it was so hard for me to differentiate the facing. Like regardless of how well I could do everything else, the facing, like I had to make sure to double, triple check for it. And that's like everybody's brains work differently. Everybody works differently the way they process, think of things, like find the right solution. As long as you can get there, that's all that matters, whatever it takes.
Also, a lot of these mechanics are similar to mechanics in other fights. So if you have seen you mentioned some people probably haven't seen forced marches before.
Everybody's seen
seen
forced marches.
well,
Not necessarily.
whether or not you've seen it in a fight where it
Siren
actually
Song
matters.
T has a forced march, and it is required for MSQ.
Oh, that's
so
true, isn't it?
everybody has seen forced marches.
Yeah, but the question is whether you've seen it in a fight where it actually matters if you do it right or not.
Fair.
That's fair.
For some reason,
Because when it actually matters, then you have to actually be watching the timer on your forced march to make sure that you actually do it at the right time.
So now that we are back at this, hold up. Make sure you get your pures, your actions, your essences, everything you need. Steel Sing and Spellforge worked out last time, so we don't have to adjust on that. Main tanks, if your loadout was wrong for whatever reason, just make sure to fix it now. As long as you have Aether Shield, off tanks, make sure you have Aether Shield. TA is where it starts to matter. TA is where weight becomes a factor. TA is where you can't just like fumble your way through a loadout and have it work out well enough.
I do want to ask you a quick question. Do you want people to actually bring DPS loadouts for TA this time, or just want to do?
We're still too far off.
Okay.
People need to practice still. And that's like, again, no shame in that, but like you might prove me wrong. We might get there that one poll is enough to teach people and we're good to go. But TA, some people it takes them a dozen times for it to make sense in their brain. And we are just here. This is extra credit at this point. This is just getting everybody a sneak peek, some extra practice before they expected it, to be better prepared going forward. On my TA clear runs, and on a lot of the TA clear runs here, we'll often vet using logs from people. So if you go through this and didn't die at all, if you died to a raid wide, that's not your fault. But like if you didn't die at all to like any of the mechanics, you might want to save that log so you can share it to show that you've had a deathless run. Like deathless run is the main criteria I go with. Some people also look at DPS. I'm not concerned about that. If you can execute the mechanics, DPS doesn't matter so much.
Yeah. I had one death. I freaking walked into the wall at Phantom during following the circles.
Oh, I mean for like TA specifically, like
I know, but like it's kind of funny that like go through TA, didn't fail a single mechanic. Phantom walked into the wall.
Yeah. All right.
On Queensguard, Is there? I feel like I can never get that stupid circle to line up the way I want it to. Like when you're aiming towards the turret and the boss, it never lines up the correct way. Is there a trick to that?
It is.
Yes.
It is dependent on where your character is facing. It's not like camera. And if you attack the boss midway through with a range attack or anything, it will turn you back to face the boss. So with any mechanic with facing, Force March works similarly. Where if you get your facing all lined up perfectly, and then you like throw out a range attack towards the boss, suddenly you snap back to face the boss. Your facing is wrong and you die.
So is that circle based on like the opening based on where I'm facing?
Yep.
So if you look at like I use if they have an animation for where your opening spot is, I use that and just position that specifically and just like
you can also
make sure that the hole's facing.
Look at the debuff because you get a debuff that shows exactly where your safe spot is.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up the I've got a little image of the debuff of an example of it.
Furiel taught me this one last week, and it was very, very helpful to just use the debuff and then just look at your debuff and point the glowing part of the debuff towards the source of the gunshot.
So you see there, yeah, you see there on my debuff bar, there's the little blue section. That is the side that is open. So that's where like, and again, that's character facing. So the way I do it, like I use legacy controls. What that lets me do, I can keep attacking the boss, just turn my camera to face where I need to be facing at the end, and once the time comes, tap forward, my character spins around, I'm good. For standard controls, you do have to like be able to adjust it in time. I know a lot of people with standard controls like to turn auto face off for stuff, and that makes it to where you don't spin right back around to face it. But like kind of as long as you're aware that it's dependent on your character facing, spinning things around to make sure your character's facing the right way. And then if you attack the boss at the wrong time, you fuck it up. Like
based off that debuff, the open space will be behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
To the back of my character. So
obviously the open space can be on any side of the character. The debuff will change depending on which is the open face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that debuff is always next to like everyone has a debuff spot in a different debuff bar in a different space. It's always next to the duties as assigned and the unable to be resurrected or the resurrection restriction thing.
You mean it's not right next to the unable to res, unable to mount your chocobo?
I always want to say the chocobo bit, but it's not there in here. There is a DC and F and an AFK and E, so we are waiting for them to get back before we can get going.
We are missing a peer on someone in A, Airy, I believe our Flare Star user.
I've been popping at it.
Okay. I just want to make sure. That's what I thought.
About popping it ahead of time. TA prog is generally where you just pop it ahead of time, but it always comes down to is weight a factor for your character. Like if you can get by popping the peer at TS and not run out of actions even all the way through Queen, like I think with my loadout, I could do that. For my normal loadout, I just play it safe. And like that's what matters. As long as you know you're set up well enough and know what you need for what. All right, so the DC and F is back. Let me know when the AFK and E is good.
I wanted to make another point about the debuffs. The same thing that we just said with regard to the open side for the sniper thing also applies to the forced marches.
Mm-hmm.
You can use the debuff and just point the arrow on the debuff bar in the direction you want to go. If you're on legacy controls, just tap to go forward once the camera is pointing in the right direction, and the arrow will send you where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Alternatively, if you want to make sure you get full uptime, you could make sure that you're pre-positioned in such a way that looking directly at the boss will make you force march in the direction you want to go.
Mm-hmm. That's what I try to do. That has fucked me once or twice, just due to my angle being a little off.
Yeah,
so
it's easier to be sure when you're like a hair away from them. When you're inside their hitbox, it gets a little difficult.
Yeah. I'm used to because I use a similar thing with like the away with these in like E7S, where I would just like point my camera where I need to go, keep attacking, and then just tap forward at the very end. And with legacy controls, it fixed it. There is a AFK and E. What is their name? I don't know if they're in the call. Because I can.
Oh, they just got back.
Among Us disconnecting.
Oh Okay, this is just confirming everybody knows your spots are going. Also, there's a trap bow spot south if you did not read on golems. So there's a DC in, not sure which party that is, on slime side.
Yeah, do we need a refresh on slimes after we get the TA info dump? It's understandable if brains get scrambled.
Among
If
Us
you
is
have any
Pokeballing, so we'll wait for Among Us to be back.
If you still have any questions, then please ask now.
I think we'll be good though.
There is a misreflect. That is a good warning. Thank you.
I was gonna say like they pointed out in my party. I'm like that's something that could be adjusted for.
Yep.
But people do need to be aware of it. Yeah, you do have time to reflect. Each healer reflect twice. So like it's possible to just have 6 healers with reflect, but it's just like redundancy just makes things so much safer all the way down. Like, because you've seen how many times someone either just misses it or just like is dead at the wrong time, or yeah, something like this they just forget it. Or panics. Shit happens in DRS. Like,
yeah, that's what the S stands for, right?
okay, Among Us is back. I am starting our countdown before this goes any longer because we did have to wait around for a bit. Tank stance check. Food check. I don't know, whatever else you want to pop ahead of time check.
Hydration check, posture check.
Do what you want on
I
what you
failed
dash.
both of those.
Sanity check.
Gamer stance check.
Don't have that, sorry.
So we at least get one more good run through. Hopefully to TA, but if we don't get there for another round, that's cool too. Good practice either way.
Okay, again, traps both south for slimes.
Golem side has 1 in blue, 1 north.
Wait for Perceptors. Northwest tank. Your slimes. Reds spawned.
Blue Golem healers, be ready with Asuna.
Southeast tank, you're up.
All traps found for golems. I got it, Selkit. Don't worry.
1 trap face taken by a certain paladin.
Once blue,
Southwest tank.
can blue golem tank come up here to the north? Whoever it was.
Yeah.
Sue, your job is now to handle these.
Oh, okay. What happened to Sal?
Healers, you may now start feeding greens to your tanks.
The poison trap was being
Eight-
raced against all
Okay.
those.
8 a poison trap.
Yeah.
I watched it and adjusted. 'Cause I'm very good at my job. We'll have to burn down white once it's under 30%.
Healers feed your tanks until they get a +4 slime.
Burn down white golem.
Oh, that was the wrong button.
Work on green.
DPS stay on top of reds. Southwest.
Golems work on hallway golems. We are 3 of 4.
Alright, I believe slime's ready. Tanks commit, pull your final slime.
Golems give it a little bit longer.
Wiggle them around on the pad if they don't want to go.
And
Do not
golem, go
leave
ahead.
your room until they rupture.
Go ahead, start on red golem.
Let's see, all rupture. Alright, everyone head out north. Watch out for traps. Pick up reds on the way out. Pop your sprints. If healers can rescue anyone lagging behind, preferably healers and DPS.
Alright, we're gonna have to stun or sleep demolish casts. Right, not for long. I don't know if we'll even see one. Yeah. That's why, if you ever wonder why I like to wait on even attacking red, like some people like to soften up red, but I find if you get red so low that you just kill it immediately, you have to spend a lot of time dealing with those hallway golems. But if you spend that extra time ahead of time just killing them all, then like by the time you kill red, there's either so little time before the ruptures are good,
or you have like one golem on each side to manage, and it's just not a problem. Like it never ends up being an issue if you just give it a bit. Pretty much once they're rupturing, that's when I like to start rather than starting at the commit. Just the way I like to do things. Every golem coordinator is a little different, and it's golems. It can only be so bad. All right, I did not see any BRBs. So please let me know if somebody in your party BRB'd. So Bub is still main tank. 2 is off tank. Yeah, he means TA, not TS. Denna TA, main tank TA once, and...
Twice. Died
twice?
to the same mechanic twice.
I was gonna say, you were still learning it at that point, too. Anyway, food check, tank stance check, actions check. Make sure you have your pure on if you didn't have it before. Oh, there's a DC. Oh, fun. Let me know when the DC's back. Everybody else.
Patch day.
I'm not gonna... DC's good. Or no, the D is good, not DC. I'm not gonna... like, ready check once we're good. Once that DC is back, I'm just going. Yeah. I saw Selkit there, like, moving kind of slow, to get to the other side. Just like, he's still newer to doing this, so, like, percepting is definitely an art as much of it as it's a science. And I saw him go into... because I always like to keep an eye on the Perceptor to see when all the traps are good. I saw the explosion there, and instantly started running back, like, running towards the north, just in case. And, like, so I start... one. Because that will go straight into the green room and just kill us all.
Doesn't help that Selk never really got experience percepting with NBA.
Yeah.
Because he only ever plays tanks in there.
This time, would you like me to show where you can go about to start percepting instead of actually just doing it myself?
Yeah, might as well.
Actually got me used to it. So.
It's funny, in BA, perception is done by a DPS. In DRS, it's done by tanks, generally. It's not that, like, DPS can't do it here. Like, DPS are the only people who can do it in BA. But in DRS, with weight being such a factor, like, perception, like, tanks have more loadout space, and the hallway tanks just end up having, like, plenty of time to do it all by themselves anyway. So it just ends up being better to have them start with it. And
it's just we let the DPS like save all of their holster space for pump basically, and leave the utility to the healers and tanks.
Mm-hmm.
Man, then the hallway tanks, they can probably just keep percept all the way up until TA, right?
Yep. You technically keep it all the way up to...
Yeah, if I'm on percept, I keep it all the way up to Queen, and then I swap out for like a dispel or something.
Yeah.
I don't have that option.
Saphira is back.
Okay. So Saphira is back. Tank stance check. Food check, actions check, peers check, etc. I'm starting our countdown. This fight starts out with a raid wide. You can pre-shield your parties. Food, re-raiser. Yeah, cool. And again, that raid white is going to be first. Fourfold is next. Gonna be left, right, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left. Follow by seasons. Right twice. Ending on the left, orb is at 1. Dodge ice, look away from 1.
Dodge ice again, get away from the bloom. Gonna have a raid wide next.
Oh, I wasn't sure if I was in that.
Raid wide is out. We're probably skipping the tank buster, be ready for either. Get under the boss, under the boss. Off tank, go share with main. Sharing is caring here on the late nights.
Frog squad.
Now everyone away from main tank. Sharing is no longer caring here on the late nights. Next is going to be chains establishing, followed by baleful blade. Wait for the chains to be locked in before breaking them. This will be with hiding behind. Wait. Break chains and then hide behind a barricade. Next is going to be Ifrit dashes, followed by baleful blade. I did see some people saying it a little long last time. The Ifrit dashes are much wider than they appear. You really can't get uptime there. Started Delta, D. We're going to hide behind the barricade at 3. Hide behind 3. Hide behind 3. Ooh, that's gonna hurt.
Ooh.
Yup.
Ooh.
Oh, I said D, didn't I? Yeah. Fuck, that's my bad. I should have said 4.
3.
Well, I said D for the thing before it. That's my bad. I was looking towards that side and just saw purple. Stack behind for Verdant Path. Stack behind. Clone line AoEs are going to be next, followed by Iron Splitter. Dodge the line AoEs. Be on sand. Be on sand. Also gonna jump mid. We'll follow the boss as he jumps. Next will be Brick with Earthshakers. Brick, Earthshakers shortly after.
Oh, you piece of shit.
Don't cleave the party. Now sand with Earthshakers. Sand with Earthshakers. Clone AoEs followed by a raid wide. Once you're healed up from this, you can get to enter cards around the boss. Main tank, wait for the next cast bar. Everyone to enter cards. Do not greed. Enter cards around the boss. Next is going to be Ifrit dashes, followed by Fourfold Mercy. Start at D. Start at D. For real this time. It's going to be right. Right, left. Right, left, right, left. Right, left, right, left. Alternate each time. Orb is at 4. Dodge ice, look away from 4. Dodge ice again, get away from the bloom. Chains to break, followed by a raid wide. Raid wide out. It's gonna be a basic tank buster next. After this is the Iron Splitter Fourfold Mercy combo. So start on the first safe Iron Splitter rings, do fourfold, then end on the next safe rings. So it's left, left, right,
Left, right, right, left. Start on sand. Start on sand. Left, right, right, left. Right twice.
Oh, I did.
End on brick. End on brick on the left. Another one at random. Be on sand. Be on sand. Orb is at 4. Dodge ice. Look away from 4. Don't get baited by the clone AoEs. You have time to dodge. Gonna have a raid wide next. Healers be watching for your chance to LB3. Raid wide is out. Next will be getting under the boss for Verdant Path. Under the boss. Healers LB3 does have a range to it, so you'll want to make sure that you have people in your range for that. Next is going to be Baleful Blade with Fourfold Mercy from the clone. Make sure to pop re-raisers if you died. So be with Hiding Behind. We'll hide behind to the east. And then left. Hide behind first, and then left, left, right, right. Hide, and then left, left, right, right. Left, left, right, right. Right twice.
Wow.
Chains to break, followed by a raid wide. Next up is going to be Iron Splitter, followed by Baleful Blade. You might have to get all the way out. Be prepared for it if you need to. This would be with Hiding Behind. Be on sand and then hide. Sand and then hide behind a barricade. Sand first. Hide behind. Alright. Next will be Chains, followed by Fourfold Mercy from the boss, or from the ad. We'll have to break Chains first. Wait in the middle to break Chains. Ad is to the north. Wait for Chains to be established. It'll be right. Right, right, left, left. Break Chains first, and then right, right, left, left. On the ad at the north. Right twice, left twice. Left twice. It'll end with Hiding Behind. End with Hiding Behind. Hide behind a barricade.
Oh, what? Oh, that's so stupid.
Baleful Onslaught is next.
Dead.
Alright, it'll be everyone away from main tank. Everyone away from main tank. Away from the 1. He's gonna go back to the A. Away from the 1. After this is Enrage, and this is totally my bad. Yeah, we just didn't have the DPS for a mistake like that. It's a bit too much for everyone to move.
Hey, shit happens.
Yep. No, one thing that's been mentioned before. Oh, what? Another one of those happens? What? What the fuck? That's new.
That was odd.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
It put that in my notes.
With
Alright.
Catbot, and I was just like,
Yeah, Kevin,
What was that? The fuck?
Yeah,
is
we've never
new.
seen that
I have
before.
never seen that before.
I've never seen that.
What happened?
What happened?
Was it
I bet I know what happened. It's
not a-
because we skipped a mechanic earlier in the fight,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but the rage is on a timer, not on a mechanic list.
Mm-hmm. And the you can skip multiple mechanics, and it's percent based when you skip and when you don't. Maybe that
What boss?
baked. Maybe that has Trinity Seeker. Maybe that
Oh.
has to do with why the skip is so weird for the other one, because it might have to do with how much you skip on the time before. Interesting.
Was it another verdant path right at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
I've seen that happen before.
No, I wiped everyone due to a bad call.
No, I've seen those.
Sorry.
I've never seen one actually resolve, but I've seen a verdant path cast right before Enrage. Like,
Okay.
really quickly. It's weird.
So we don't have super much time. We got 40 minutes. I'm going to do a ready check. If you can't make it, feel free to ignore the ready check or leave. Basically, if you can't stay over, I'm down to go for another run through and just speed run as much as we can. Hopefully, not having lag issues and DC issues.
Also, there will be no explanations, which means should basically, except for questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which
like
will be run by like 20 minutes or half an hour.
TA, I can go quickly on. That is a sign that I too am human. For those of you who doubted it, I heard it say before on one like the because I've messed up calling every boss at this point some number of times. I've heard it said before that the reason that me messing something up gets people killed is because nobody expects it, and so it just fucking eats people.
Missing 2.
So waiting on Trixton and Alana if they can go again.
Saphira is DCing again.
Okay.
Even fast would still mean it's going to be over an hour, just as a warning.
Yeah, like an hour.
Yeah, this will
go till 4:30 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, it'll go for probably another hour or so. If that's not doable, we can try to pull someone in. Yeah, no, and late nights especially. Spaghetti happens on the late nights. I get very tired. Shit happens.
And that's why you should also try to learn the mechanics by yourself and resolve it by yourself at some point.
How about this? If you cannot go over, just drop. Drop at this point, and we'll see if we can get the people to go for another run. We got Queen's Guard out of the way. That's the important part. We got what we came here to do. Getting more TA practice is lovely, but not needed. Yeah, it looks like we just have too many people who can't go over. That is, shit happens. I'm glad to see that verdant path actually, though. Never actually seen that.
Did it actually resolve, or did you just start the count?
It resolved, yeah.
It resolved.
It did. It cleaved me. I got doomed.
Yeah.
It came out so fast. It was immediately.
Yeah, I've never seen it actually resolve.
And that's the thing. You almost never skip skip a mechanic first time through if you are not also going to beat in rage. It takes a bad call to get there, because if your damage is good enough, then to skip, you're not going to see enrage unless a lot of people die. And I called one marker over from the right one. I called D instead of 4 for the Ifrit dashes, and just people couldn't. It was a long, it was the second one being cleaved anyway, so everyone had to run extra long and had gotten hit by the first one, and that's just so hard to recover from.
I was autopiloting that, and I went to D. I was like, wait a minute. Something's wrong.
I just saw it called purple, fucking... it has been a long time since I have fucked up a TS. It's been a real long time since I fucked up a TS.
Would you want to try to ping people? That's 5. We might be able to get quick rolls.
Yeah. I can switch to DPS if needed to.
Yeah.
How many people we need? I can probably fill in for one.
We're missing
healer,
one healer, a tank.
I can fill in as a healer.
Might know somebody that would
2
want
healers,
it
a tank,
see.
and 2
Yeah,
DPS.
let me just.
I could ping a healer.
I'm just gonna ping.
Offline, never mind.
I'm gonna do the big boy ping.
Do you want me in?
I'm gonna set the party back up. We got enough people still here to give it a try.
I was just wondering if
everybody that has left said they are the ones that couldn't go. There's a 6th.
That just means that I get to do the duel.
Join the Slippery.
What party?
So there is duel, or there is magic.
You say Delta?
Beta.
Bravo. Wait, B?
I am in B party for some reason.
Why are you
in B for bog?
Slippery, do fucking slimes.
Alright, I'll go do slime.
Slime side slippery.
I've never
so
seen
weird.
slippery on slimes.
I only do slimes on special occasions.
Ooh.
You probably want to. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna be. You probably want to set a deadline for when, if we can't fill.
Yeah.
But
So new party is
probably
up.
340 at the
What's the
absolute
password?
What, it's 1221.
Party
Same as
fine
always.
at Prague all night.
Dude,
I'm
everyone
gonna
always says,
DNE
"Oh, I use the
forever."
same password," but there's like 900 people that I join runs for, and they
Fair,
all
fair.
use like different passwords. It's hard to remember.
Well, you haven't memorized every host's favorite password yet? God.
he's working on. Damn it! That was a nib. Oh.
All right.
No, I'm
I
sad.
did the big boy. Everyone hates me ping. It is so infrequent. I'll use that. Like, yeah. Oh, Quite was around.
Dude, I don't know what the fuck is going on with this patch, but it has
Why?
fucked with the way the game culls objects for me. If I zoom out too far, my legs or like hands disappear.
You are using reshade.
Reshade doesn't affect that though.
You're a
Reshade's,
spooky goat.
Reshade's just a filter. Reshade doesn't actually affect the way the game culls objects.
Oh.
No Among Us!
No, I'm not on a hard drive.
Oh, we have
And
some
it only does it to my
Base is
player's
19.
character.
Yeah.
It doesn't do it to anything else. It's super weird.
Yeah,
Good night.
7 might be a little much to get it fucking.
Especially since we had
late night.
2 enter and then 7 or 2 more later.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gotta go. I'm just looking at the time.
Yeah, no hard feelings whatsoever.
So is this a disband here?
Thank you for the good one.
Give it like 5 minutes and see
Yeah.
if people flood in.
I'll give it.
Alright,
Let's give it to the 30 mark and just see if we got anyone biting. You know.
I'm
When will
just
you
not gonna
post?
drink caffeine until we do.
When will you post for the next time?
It'll probably be like. Well, it depends, right? If we don't do this next run, if we don't go in again, it'll be like in half an hour. If we do go in again, it'll probably be like hour and a half.
Is it fine if I sign up tomorrow?
It depends.
Thank you, Lucille.
You can
Wait,
sign up tomorrow, but since I do first come first serve,
Mm-hmm.
if a lot of people sign up right away, sometimes signing up day after isn't fast enough.
Fine. Noted.
Yeah, I think next week I'm gonna do TA for Tuesday, TA Prague. So I'll do TA Prague into TA Clear that week.
Sure.
Maybe TA Prague into full clear actually, because we got a lot of people past TA who didn't clear still.
I mean, most of your
That
TA
sounds
clears
good.
are just like full clears in disguise anyway. It's
Yeah,
a,
we
it's a
had the-
maybe, but it seems to be a trend.
We had the one that wasn't just because of the orb placement, you know.
Yeah,
Then
It was very
cursed as
tricky.
hell.
And I don't want those people to be trapped in like a weird in between where they have to wait for like a Theo clear run to get in, you know? When instead I could I could just host a clear on the late nights and make it a proper thing.
Okay.
Hell yeah, let's get fucking Snark in here. And Richard
Yeah.
Lover. What a great name.
Yeah. His tag is Manhore. HORE.
I know.
Yeah.
'Cause I was pulling him for things and I was like, I can't tag. I couldn't find him in the list. I'm like, Eliza, what's his Discord tag? And she's like, man whore. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I see him around Limsa all the time. Seems
Yeah.
like a nice guy.
He was on my reclear on no, it was I think he cleared with the reclear.
It doesn't say he
like,
cleared.
first clear.
He didn't do the role update then.
Yeah, I didn't remember. I think he cleared.
We need 2 more people. We are
Yeah,
filling.
that's not bad. And I'm seeing like classic late night faces, or not like, you know, long time classic for all of them, but like.
Oh, by the way, roles are locked for Dancer on B party and F party.
Okay, I can fix that. So it doesn't really matter. That can be any range fizz, preferably, but I'll unlock it later if needed.
Double Sam, let's go.
That could be any range fizz.
After Shimura's trying to
DRS
mess
run.
with my pars.
Are they in this chat? Yeah, it's perfectly okay if
Imperial, we did Diamond Extreme earlier today, and we had the worst party comp I have ever seen in my life.
What class were they?
Shimura was my co-healer, which was odd, and we had triple melee.
Okay, I'm gonna make an offer. Would You prefer me to tank slime and they can take the hallway tank?
I mean, that works.
That way, since even if they don't know what they're doing, I can percept the rooms and then head and grab my slimes last. I'll just be southwest tank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So I'll go percept rooms and then I'll head back and just go do that. That way, even if they have never done slimes, they can at least see it by being a hall tank.
Mm-hmm.
You were north Hull Tank, I think?
Me, I was south.
Oh, damn. You ran all the way.
No, that was on purpose.
Ariel.
So that I could percept
Ariel.
both north and then head
What's up?
south.
Technically, we can queue with 46.
We can.
Right.
Oh yeah,
We
I
can
totally
queue with
forgot we can do that
46.
now.
Oh no.
If we don't think we can basically join and do it without that.
I completely forgot.
All right, I guess that means
we
I have to
want-
bring Templar then to make up that.
Just
gap
make
difference.
5 party with all people so they have
We-
LB3 and that should be it.
Oh, I just got a dancer.
Yeah.
All right, what's up?
Funny how nature
How
does
much
that.
time do you want to give it, and then just to say like,
let's
okay, we're
give
going
it-
in.
I will give it a whole 2 more minutes.
We're gonna scale it to 47 people.
Is Snark in here yet? Has Snark joined?
Quibo.
Yeah, he has. He's in Group E.
Also, this also means one of the 2 healers in my party. Can you join me in Slime Room? We're doing some slight shenanigans. We're gonna have to pre-set up a little bit. Basically,
Yeah.
mainly it's
Well, you know
me and
yourself,
one healer. So you and me, we're gonna head into southwest, so that I can percept and then take my slimes.
Okay, I got you.
We just got one and
Oh
then
my
lost
god,
one,
that is
so-
our fucking party tomorrow.
Like,
So-
what? We had someone leave as soon as we filled.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put back up.
Alright, so Quibo, you're gonna be hallway tank. I'm gonna take over for southwest room. So that way your job is basically turn on your tank stance, hit soldiers, kill them, kill slimes if you
I
they're in
mean,
the
we
area.
have double DPA, double melee on B.
Yeah, I'm not worried about party comp at this point. Like, we have enough to get through Queen's Guard.
I'm just
since that
I'm
person
only setting up
said
slimes.
about dancer, so
Mhm.
Blue DPS, no. Sorry, that's the one thing where it's like
I mean, honestly though,
Scholar can outparse all tanks. Change my mind.
now one thing I do have to point out, we did get some new, like at least one new healer, I believe. So make sure to double check the healer 1, healer 2 steal and spell bullshit. Make sure to
Let me check with my co-healer. Tomoe, we good?
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess if
the
you don't
gang is
notice
back in town. We're gonna be trying to go as fast as possible through this. So please,
slimes are gonna need some pre-setup just
Yeah.
as a small one.
Yeah.
but like
Yeah,
get your
it
shit,
should.
get your shit organized as best as you can, ahead of time.
Do we
Fuck
have
is the gray healer?
do we have both RA covered?
Yeah, we have. I believe Zinnia's still here. Wasting's still here. Yeah, we got Rend Armors covered. I am doing ready checks because if we have all of us ready, I'm just gonna go in with 47. We
Make
have
sure to
cleared
TF
Queen's
down.
Guard with a duelist dead. Like multiple. Every single fucking pull we've done is mystery prog. We have cleared Queen's Guard with a dead duelist. So like, that's not too big a deal, right? So like, we can if people want to reorganize inside, we can do that. But like,
Yeah, if
I'm
you guys
not-
want to take the dancer.
yeah, I'm not gonna reorganize now. But like, we're just going in for one more attempt anyway. It can be done. You can reorganize parties in DRS. Like, this doesn't get done very often.
I think there's
It happens
actually
pretty
somebody
much
who
anytime
wants
someone
it.
DCs.
Yeah, someone's gonna be missing an LB, but you know.
I guarantee you, literally 1 second after we get in, they're gonna be like, "Party Finder's not up in chat."
Yeah, I just like. Yes, we wiped due to a mistake, but like seeing that verdant path and then realize we could go into 47. What a treat! I don't
Also,
mind.
I'm gonna apologize to the healers in my party who arised me afterwards. So I forgot to re-put my re-razor on and then got the doom. Oh, it's my party that doesn't have everyone.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do the duel because.
I actually might say, could we have one more person go to slimes and golems?
Yeah, that sounds good. If one of the random DPS from.
I'll go.
Okay, cool.
I'm sorry. It's good for slimes to have as many people as they can.
Check as many. Make sure you have your pures. Make sure you have your actions set up. Make sure you have your essences, etc., etc. We are going as fast as we can here, just because we are already running late. We did lose the range Fizz, who was interrupting Red Golem. If somebody else can volunteer for that, that would be lovely. We are going to have to do some coordination slime side just to swap things around anyway, so I'm just going to drop down. Alright, we got one in my party willing to do it.
Alright, Marcus, are going to have to go read back up. I'm going to take Southwest because we don't have enough time to fully explain slimes. So I will take over as Slime Southwest. Which
Party
means
A in the northern markers, 2 light parties. Party B in the southern markers, 2 light parties. Party C, hallway, 2 light parties.
except for the one healer will need to go to south. One healer and one tank from B party will be going to the south instead because I have taken over as slime tank.
Then just to make sure, since I'm the extra, do you want me on C?
You're the Quipo? Yeah, you headed number 2. You are hull tank. Your job is to hit the soldiers and stun them if they cast. Aside from that, help DPS some slimes, and that's basically it. Don't AoE.
We're gonna be having tanks pull sets of 3 at the start. I'll be calling it out. Healers will finish off for tanks. DPS pull slimes in the hallway. Anyone have questions?
Trap Southwest.
Why are there D and C split 3 and 5?
There is a trap in both south rooms, which means my job is easy. So I will percept southeast and then head to southwest and wait for my trap. There is, frankly, the Tomoe. You're in the middle instead. That's
there
why.
we go.
Okay, that should cover it because we had the Tomoe is, I believe, a healer, which means you're now healing your tank there. Okay.
Didn't see any questions aside from that, so I believe slimes are good.
Tank stance check. Food check. Countdown's already started. Get good. We're here for speed. We're here for a good time, not a long time. We're here for TS wipe, not a long time.
I'm going to percent middle, then head southwest, and then or southeast, and then I'll percent my room as I'm going in.
Is the queen clear? Okay. Let's go.
So where are traps on the golem side?
In blue. Blue in hallway and then one north. From the looks of
Wait
it.
for traps. Northwest tank, pick up your slimes. I can pick up my slimes.
Ooh.
Blue golem healers, be ready with the Suna.
Southeast tank.
All traps one.
Yeah.
Who's tanking blue golem? It's flipping.
Oh. Why is it flipping? Somebody else have stands on?
And then dinner.
Don't interrupt. We have to wait for this to change again. We have to wait for this one to change again.
Slimes will probably have to wait for the golems to be good for.
Yep.
I swear that wasn't me.
No,
Healers, you
it's
can
probably
start feeding
range-based.
slimes to your tanks.
Go ahead and kill green first.
Feed them enough until they have a +4. Slimes, we're gonna wait on golems. So we're gonna be chilling around for a bit after we finish setting up.
Alright. Kill green and then move down to white. Go kill white.
Call out when you're 4 and holding. DPS stay on top of reds. West. So both north.
Southeast is 4 and holding.
Golems are good. We're 3 of 4.
Southwest 4 and holding.
Okay, slimes are just gonna chill.
Work on ruin golems. We're good whenever you are.
Okay. Tanks commit, pulling your final slime. Go them around on the pad if they don't want to fuse. Now leave your room until they rupture.
Alright, go ahead and work on red golem.
Let's see, all rupture. Head out north. Watch out for traps. Pick up reds on the way out. Pop
Healers,
sprints.
DPS and healers.
Oh, rest in peace, Tomoe.
What the heck? Tomoe
Caught a
just
red
says
fusion. He dragged it out the front.